Hello, everybody out there in the comic book YouTube world who watches this kind of thing. I am Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
This is a comic book show where we take the books from the past week and recap them, review them, tell you what we thought about them, and then give you recommendations for comics that are coming out this week that we think you should pick up. Also, we watch movies like Spider-Man No Way Home, which we're going to talk about entirely in this episode.
We are?
Yeah, that's the show. We're talking about Spider-Man No Way Home. We are? What? No, of course. Now we're going to speculate on the next Batman movie. It's going to be great.
Dope.
But no, hello webheads. Let's jump into it. Before we do, of course, wanted to do a little bit of house cleaning. So welcome all of you who are here and ready to talk all about spoilers, and we are. So if you're here and you're a big fan of the show, but you haven't seen the movie yet, and you don't want to be spoiled, get out of here now. Get out. Save it. Put it on your watch later list, and then just go. Because we don't want to ruin it for you. And we know this chat is going to be all up on the spoilers, and that's totally fair. Because this show is called Spider-Man No Way Home Spoilers, so we get it. A couple things. First of all, this show is sponsored by you out there. If you're watching the show live right now, you can sponsor today's episode by using Super Chats, can ask a question or can make a comment, tell us your favorite moment, and we will read it here on the show. Also, we wanted to mention that if you want to help us out, you can always subscribe to our channel here at ComicPop Returns, or go to youtube.com/ComicPop and get us to 100,000 subscribers. So, because we're very close. We're dangerously close to 100,000 subscribers. Also, big, happy holidays to all of you. Thank you for being here. So let's jump into it. A lot of stuff to talk about, but let's jump into the books that we want to recommend.
Yeah, we thought we'd do that
comic
first.
Book show.
We would just get that done.
Exactly. But also, because comics are coming out. So here we go. I'm recommending Amazing Spider-Man number 82. I read the tie-in issue, which will make more sense to you if you read this, because Peter wakes up at the end of that issue. Not in Amazing Spider-Man, but in Amazing Spider-Man like 81 Beyond or something.
Okay.
It looks like they're trying to give like Peter and Mary Jane their own like non-powered story.
Okay.
So whatever. New Nightwing 87 coming out. Tom Taylor, Bruno Redondo. Got to check this out. It's not a Fear State tie-in. So
that's nice.
It's Nightwing. Picking back up where we left off. Hooray. Right. Batman Catwoman number 9. This I think was one of the last Liam Sharp issues before Clayman returns to the book.
Okay.
So, I'm enjoying this. The last one, not so much, but it's a 12-issue mini, so, it's going to be dips and dives.
Sometimes, I don't know, like, his other, 12-issue series,
are just firing on all cylinders. That's true. Yeah. And, this isn't the last Tom King Batman book that's coming out. He's making at least 1 or 2 more.
Oh.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Trial of Magneto ends. I'm not even going to recommend it. I'm just going to say it's almost over, and it's going to happen on Wednesday. It's going to be over, and then we can read it and talk about it.
Great.
What do you got?
Oh, man. Batman One Dark Knight is coming out. I've been really hyped for this. I hope I didn't hype it up too much for myself. This is entirely created by Jock, so I'm in. There's an EMP. It knocks out the power across Gotham City, and there's a GCPD escort. It sounds like a bunch of movies. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm just going to read it. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow number 6 is coming out. I love this series.
This is a Tom King mini that does not have any blemishes.
It's also only 8 issues.
That's true.
So we only have 3 more.
Yeah.
So it's this one and then 7 and 8. So
yeah,
I adore this series.
It's great.
I like reading the words in this book. I also like looking at the pictures in this book. It's just a good experience overall.
Yeah.
Also Moon Knight number 6 is coming out. I weirdly jumped on this and have been digging it so far. And I say weirdly because
Moon Knight's not your character.
Not normally. Jeb McKay writing this with art by Alessandro Capuccio. By the way, I should have said the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow was Tom King and Bilquis Evely.
Yes.
But I didn't. But anyway, so I'm going to be checking out Moon Knight. Wow, we're both having a rough time talking today. Sword number 11 is coming out. Nobody knows how much longer this series is going. I'm sure there's someone out there already putting it in the chat. I don't care. I can't see it.
Yeah.
Written by Al Ewing, art by Jacopo Camagni. Camagni. I don't know. I just like the series. I think it's a lot of fun. There's something very enjoyable about a character like Abigail Brand, who is like a Nick Fury, but a little
sassier.
And like, very like she's gonna be caught at some point. I don't
Yeah.
know. There's just something about that. I enjoy it. It's fun. So I'm gonna grab that. Catwoman Lonely City #2 is all Cliff Chong. So
Check
go
that
grab
out.
it. And this might be the most excited I am this week because I really thought the Jock book was gonna be it.
Yeah.
But then I saw this in the list and I was like, no way. What a gift. What an actual gift. King Conan #1 is coming out, written by Jason Aaron with art by Mahmoud Asrar. I've been waiting for this book for years.
Yes.
Now.
Yeah, I think so.
It's the return of Jason Aaron to the saga of Conan. I loved his run on Conan. Loved it. Loved his storytelling, and I can't wait to see what he has in store for King Conan. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Brian Rollins says, all your shows, especially the live one, stopped me from going crazy during the lockdown. I was mostly alone with my girlfriend. A nurse was working. Thank you thank you all. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, man. And thanks for being with us.
Yeah, and I think from that I got that your girlfriend is a nurse.
Yes,
So
that's scary. And thank you. Thank her. Dan V900, I won't be able to watch live, but I hope you both were able to see the movie on better terms after the aggressive opening night and were safe. Yes, we were both safe, and we did see it opening night, and it was super aggressive, but not as aggressive as the TikTok that you showed me, or somebody showed me. Somebody sent me like a video of it, and it was just balls to the wall insane.
Yeah.
And then the second viewing was like I saw it at home. That was how tame it was compared to the first night.
Yes, exactly. So
he also goes on to say, other than the obvious choices for continuations, I do want a Spider-Girl film. Since Kirsten Dunst keeps pushing to be old lady MJ, that would be great. The last thing I want is Kirsten Dunst making any decisions about the Spider-Man movies. She was the one who advocated for Spider-Man to die in Spider-Man 2 or 3. She's a great actor, and her role is woefully underappreciated, but I think we're good.
That's fair.
Cubenix, love you guys. Loved this film. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on it. Well, I can't wait to talk about it. Let's do it now. Tiffany, what were your thoughts? Initial thoughts.
So first of all, by the way, if you haven't left yet from spoilers,
here they come.
They're coming.
So, but maybe I'll give a non-spoiler opinion about No Way Home. You're rushing to the theater. You're just leaving now. You want to know whether you should see it or not. Yes, I think you should see it. We enjoy it. Yeah.
And now onto the spoilers.
Yes, here we go. So yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home, directed by John Watts, who is upcoming to do the Fantastic Four relaunch for the MCU, and the third installment of the home MCU Spider-Man trilogy. Not the third outing for Spider-Man in the MCU, of course. We had Civil War, Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home, Infinity War, Endgame. I think that's it. So 6 movies. This character has appeared in,
yes,
which is pretty awesome.
Yes,
and a culmination and a tumultuous outing, because of course there was rumors, and these movies exist because of a partnership between a volatile studio like Sony and a volatile studio like Disney, and seeing them bridge the gap, come together, and make these movies for us is a triumph, and something that normally doesn't happen.
No, it's true.
Like, you would normally not see this.
Right.
So it's kind of a gift that these exist at all. And there's been a lot of controversy about these movies and about that deal. In fact, Sony and Marvel couldn't get it together long enough to after Far From Home, I believe, where there was some tumult.
Yes.
There was some real bullshit going on. And so this was kind of maybe not even going to happen, and then finally maybe was constructed to be a swan song or a finale for MCU Spider-Man, and a lot of baggage associated with this movie. But now that they've worked it out, you're getting a Spider-Man MCU animated series on Disney Plus, and discussions galore outside of this movie. I think it's safe to say that this isn't the last outing for Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but we'll talk about that maybe in the speculation period of the show. So yeah, overall, I loved it. I was worried about it. I don't know about you.
I know you were.
Because it was there were some rumors about what was going to happen, or at least some speculation, and I know I was kind of hoping for a his identity's out, what's going to happen to Peter Parker now?
Mhm.
Maybe he'll be hunted by a certain loinclothed Russian. Then Sony was like, we're making our own version of that. So that didn't happen.
Right.
And instead, there were rumors galore about Spider-Verses. And of course, Into the Spider-Verse won an Oscar. So we're thinking multiverses. We're thinking multiple Spider-Men.
Mhm.
You know, you think you're making $1 billion of Spider-Man. Well, what if you put like 5 Spider-Men in your movie? There was
You'll make $5 billion.
right, exactly.
That's how it scales.
That's how it works. That's how it scales. I should also point out, and I want to do it now because I don't want to forget.
Okay.
Um,
Point it out.
Yeah. The marketing for this movie was successful in terms of they never showed you in a trailer, poster, interview, anything
Mhm.
that there were going to be multiple Spider-Men in this movie.
Yeah. No,
And I think that's really impressive.
yes.
A kind of restraint I don't expect from Sony.
Right. And that's not to say people leaking things or theorizing. That's totally different.
Yep.
So don't even start.
Well,
with
and of
that
course, there's also
because-
the theory that Sony may have deliberately leaked information
Sure,
as a
sure,
kind of
sure.
viral marketing campaign, so they
Sure.
could be like they could be blameless.
Absolutely. But like when you look at the like Marvel put out or Disney put out marketing plan,
Yep.
they had restraint.
Yeah.
Which was impressive in this day and age.
Yeah, and that they managed to keep the cast under wraps outside of like people like Alfred Molina and stuff like that. But like even they just revealed they were in it, not
Right.
necessarily there were going to be multiple Spider-Men in it.
Right.
But
Yeah,
I don't
they
think
somehow kept Tom Holland under control.
Yep. Somehow, I also don't. I don't know if anyone didn't expect there to be Spider-Man in it.
You know, it's funny. I think there were people who didn't, based on
The
our
reaction?
theater experience, or like things happened. And I was like,
Right.
and the uproar and
Yeah.
like, I want to call it jubilation, but I don't know if I can.
Jubilation isn't quite so rage-filled
Yeah,
the way we experienced it.
yeah. But like,
I've never seen anybody get married and scream in their bride's face the way that some members of our audience did at the screen.
no, it's true. But like that sort of reaction, I can't tell if that's just I can't believe they did it reaction or they just didn't know.
Mhm.
And I'm like, how? I don't know.
I don't know. So in order to, I think, guide our thoughts, let's break it down.
Yeah.
So there's the first part of the movie in which the identity is out.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Parker's dealing with the fallout.
Yeah.
Very much like an MCU Spider-Man situation. Spider-Man is screwed.
Yeah.
We see it's a continuation directly from the post-credit scene.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes and gets Mary Jane in some spectacular web slinging
Yeah.
that I loved. I was like, this is great. This looks
Mhm.
awesome. We because they kind of pioneered it in they pioneered it really in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, but like the first person perspective or the like right over the shoulder perspective, like the ride along GoPro kind of stuff with Mary Jane, good stuff. Or I should say Michelle Jones / MJ. Great stuff. I loved it in Far From Home. I love it in this.
Yeah.
Looked great. Underground web slinging in the subway.
Yes.
Dope. Anyway, we get to the fun like one shot of Pete and MJ in his apartment. Happy and Aunt May don't work out. Happy doesn't leave, and so we get the identity out.
He's trying to get
He's trying to get back in, and and the identity's out, and we see the fallout. And how do you like how the like identity reveal fallout was handled?
I think it was very realistic.
Yeah.
How like quickly.
Oh, it all fell apart.
Well, yeah, but also how quickly everyone responded news-wise to being there. How much it didn't matter to them that like it's a student. It's like, you know, he's a high school kid.
Yeah.
You know, like they don't care.
Right.
There's zero care.
No,
there. And
exactly.
I was like, that's very real. It's very scary.
Oh yeah.
That crowd sequence.
Yes. That was like I wasn't expecting it to be so real.
That was so real. And that woman grabbed.
When that woman grabbed him and then said like he hit me.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a real thing.
That is so real. And I was like, oh my God, how disgusting.
Yeah.
That like, you know, because people are like, there are people out there like that who just want.
Just want theirs.
They want theirs
on the back of somebody else's.
They don't care. And like that was like, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, but like it really gave Holland an opportunity to shine.
Yep.
In that Peter Parker way.
Yeah.
That he has developed for his character.
Yes.
I love that even though he very clearly is trying to distract from his identity being revealed, he's also like very concerned about the Happy May relationship.
Yeah, it's cute.
Like, can we just talk about that?
Right. Well, he also wants to talk about anything else. He's
Yeah,
trying
I
to
know. I
distract,
just I'm
but
saying,
yeah.
even though it's that, but like there is something about that where he's like, wait, what?
Yeah, yeah. He's like, wait, no. Oh man, so much change in my life in the
Yeah.
last 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh no, I thought this was gonna work.
Right? Because I think they like had their conversation and then he left and then he came back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really liked how that's handled. J. Jonah Jameson, the new J. Jonah Jameson, the MCU J. Jonah Jameson.
Mhm.
We watch his career trajectory rise as this movie continues. I really like that, and I was like
Yeah.
really subtle. They don't talk about. There's no scene of him like in a room full of money, just being like, "It's working." But like,
Cigar.
yeah, no cigars. But he is like, he has the vlog on his .net channel,
Mhm.
and it goes from his viral video to a studio.
Yeah, like he has a green screen.
He has a green screen in a
full of,
sad
like,
room.
boxes with
Great
like
room, great
Pepe
shot.
Sylvia-esque board in the
Yes,
back.
I love it. It's so funny. Also, he's selling Daily Bugle supplements. I liked that a lot. I know there were some in our sphere who thought that was like a little too on the nose. I thought it was really funny.
The Jonah that they've crafted there,
Mhm.
yeah, that works.
Mhm.
Like they're telling a story with this Jonah,
A grifter, an opportunist.
yeah, and they're definitely trying to like separate him from
The J.K. Simmons,
the
like Spider-Man, Raimi.
yeah,
Jonah.
Raimi's version of Jonah. Like they're trying to be like, no, same guy, but like two different takes on it.
Different
Like
takes.
same like, way in which they're getting
Their success off the back of Spider-Man.
Yeah, but like for different reasons. Like I appreciated them like being like, no, it's a different character.
Yeah, yeah. But we can see where it could go. And that's
Mhm.
one of the things we talked about earlier on another show was like, I love the idea of them taking like an Alex Jones type character, but because it's fictional, you can actually make him like not a demon. And
Mhm.
so like you could watch Jonah like make really bad decisions. Like I could see a movie after this. I know it's speculation, but like
Yeah.
where this Jonah recruits Matt Gargan and makes him into the Scorpion. And like just all he wants is success
Yep.
and popularity.
Yep.
And like it all happens so fast that like the second that he realized he's swept up in it, like,
Mhm.
oh no, I'm so far gone. Like I
Yeah.
would love to see that kind of exploration. You're not gonna see a Jonah movie or anything, but I would like to see, a Jonah who is, maybe he starts out kind of terribly and grows as
Right,
as
right.
his career starts to blossom, so
Mhm.
too does his like morality.
Yeah.
Like maybe he's like, oh my God, people are listening to me, but I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Like maybe I need to start growing integrity or something. Like
Mhm.
I don't know. I can see that happening. Like,
No, absolutely. But like I said, like I think it's also excellent because Simmons gets an opportunity to stretch different muscles.
Do
He's
something
not
else.
just playing the exact same character. It is a
Exactly.
similar character. And depending on his further involvement in the films, might give him some additional acting opportunity.
Totally. He's an Academy Award winning actor. He's a
that's what
great
I'm
actor
saying,
anyway.
like-
give him something else to do.
Yeah. So
So really what we want to talk about, of course, is the first big kind of like, holy crap moment, which if it was the only one would have been worth it.
yeah.
And it's something where it is emblematic to me of everything I've wanted from an MCU Spider-Man, like since the beginning.
Mhm.
Since Raimi's Spider-Man, all I've wanted is, pay the money.
Yeah.
Make the deal, do the thing.
Mhm.
This is very much a walk the line kind of fan service movie. If you looked at it like through very glibly or through cynical eyes, like you'd say, this is fan service movie. It's giving you a lot of things that people have been asking for,
Mhm.
people who've like demanded. It's like a fan film come to life if you
Yeah.
want to look at it like that. But I really do feel like everything that happens is also the decisions made that we would consider to be fan servicey are contributory to the theme and plot of the movie.
It's not just window dressing, and it's
Yes.
something that's like helping to set up like future. It's
Yeah.
not just in there to be like, wink, see, no, give me your money.
Yeah.
It's more like we're gonna do this and we know it's gonna make you happy, but it's not just because we want to have it in here, it's because this is going to be used.
And when you can, you do that.
Yeah.
Like if May and Peter need a lawyer for one scene.
Yeah. And they don't want to get Joe Pesci.
Right, which is kind of a drag now that you mention it. But there have been theories that Joe Pesci would be not Joe Pesci, that Jason Alexander would be Uncle Ben.
Uh,
But I would also take Joe Pesci as Uncle Ben. But yeah, no one's Uncle Ben. Instead, we get Matt Murdock. We get Charlie Cox, Daredevil from the Netflix series. Of course, Marvel had to do it first. The Hawkeye show, and I don't want to spoil that too much, but I will mention that like there's some allusions and then some confirmations about a certain big man in this show, and he may be a holdover from said show.
Yep.
And they got to do that first. That came out on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And of course, 2 days prior, I think Feige said if we were to put Daredevil in these movies, he would be portrayed by Charlie Cox. So like Marvel took the thunder from Sony, but Sony got to make a movie where Daredevil and Spider-Man interact with each other.
Yep. And it's not just a like, you know, he's just Matt Murdock. He does something.
He does something that says I am
Daredevil.
It's not like it's, oh no, MCU Matt Murdock has no powers and he'll never be Daredevil.
Yeah.
No, this is MCU Daredevil, Charlie Cox, Matt Murdock, and it's everything I want.
Yeah.
It's so short that it leaves you wanting more, but it doesn't overdo it.
No.
And you get that moment, that fan service moment of the brick where he catches it first. You see Spider-Man react too.
Yep. They both
react. He catches it first and he says, "How'd you do that? I'm a really good lawyer." Good stuff. Also, great setup because this is another MCU scene where it's like, hey, it's a world of infinite possibilities. We can use actors that were great and beloved from previous ideas, but Happy needs a really good lawyer.
I know, and that's what he tells me. He's like, "You're gonna need a really good lawyer."
Yeah, well, but I don't think it's gonna be Matt.
No, I'm sure it's not. But
I think it's gonna be Jennifer
I did
Walters.
like that he was like almost like pitching himself.
Yeah, he's like, "You're gonna need a really good lawyer. I'm a really good lawyer.
I am a really good lawyer,
and you probably have a lot of money, and I could use that."
And Foggy tells me I need that.
Right, and Foggy says it's important. We can't pay our mortgage in chickens. But no, I think it's Jen Walters. I think they're gonna make like a plot point in the She-Hulk show that Jen represents Happy, tying it more directly into like an ancillary. The MC is over here. Iron Man stuff is going to be dealt with over here, in the background of other movies until Armor Wars.
Right.
But great scene, fun interactions, and that's all I've ever wanted. It's just like, if you're going to put a lawyer in the movie, make it Matt Murdock. Just move on. Great. That could have been it for me. You know?
Of course it wasn't.
No, Doc Strange is brought in because Peter has this idea, because the people in his life who matter most to him, their lives are falling apart. I'm gonna skip through. Like, I'm not doing like we're not doing a scene by scene, but we're getting to like the three big chunks of the movie, which is like the identity, the conflict, and then all the Spider-Man.
Right. No, it's true. I will point out that like there's a big thing about MIT here, which I think is interesting.
Well, it's brought up in Homecoming.
Yeah.
Because Tony Stark himself says it's not too soon to be thinking about college. I still have some pull at MIT.
Right.
Clearly not. At least not posthumously.
No.
And I like to think that Pepper Potts is just like, I'm out of the Peter Parker business.
Yeah, I don't care.
Tony's dead, and I don't give a shit about this kid from Queens.
Right.
I wrote the check to Feast. That was my involvement.
Yes.
I'm out now.
Yeah.
If Happy wants to do that, like, that's his bag.
But I thought that was interesting because it pulled them out of New York, or was going to.
Yeah. Which normally you'd be like, oh, well, that's never going to happen. For me, I was like, that's never going to happen. But I've been fooled before. You know,
fool me once.
Yeah, well, the MCU is so different because, like, you know, the first movie took place in like DC, second one was in London and crap. Like, we could do a Spider-Man movie in Boston, although I think like you could pick I don't know, Boston's nice. I've been to Boston; it's a nice place.
But I only want to bring that up because a lot of the MIT conversation and letdown from that occurs in that coffee shop.
Yes.
By the way, great moment for May, like how involved she is
in his like selection process.
Yeah, or like you know the excitement she has, like how motherly she is towards him.
Totally.
By like her bringing the letters each time, and we're watching time progress. I thought that was a really smart way to show progression of time.
Totally.
By the way, I love that Happy kept the arm.
Yeah. The dummy. I love it.
The one that, you know, when the MIT letter shows up, he destroys
the Death Star again.
But that, like, when do we go to the coffee shop? We saw this gag in the trailer. It hit me just the same when he, like, it's Halloween.
Oh,
it's post Halloween.
Yeah,
the decorations are still up, and he sees the like vampire wizard.
Yeah, the Doctor Strange ornaments.
Yeah, it's like
I think they are. I think they're Doctor Strange ornaments.
I don't know. They're clearly vampires.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, that was so funny because like
he's like, oh yeah,
I know a wizard.
I know a wizard.
Stop calling him a wizard.
It's sorcerer. That's something that a wizard would argue about.
Yeah.
But
Or
yeah, so he goes to Doctor Strange. Now I want you to take the Doctor Strange segment because Doctor Strange is your favorite Marvel character.
Yeah.
How do you like the whole thing, the portrayal of Doctor Strange and the setup for Doctor Strange 2?
So let's talk about Strange's current situation. He's not the Sorcerer Supreme,
Right.
which means that I don't think he ever was.
He was, I think, during Infinity War and stuff.
They think they said that, but like we never saw.
We never see a
any
coronation
of
or
that,
anything. No.
or like we haven't really introduced the Vishanti just in general.
And I don't think we ever will.
And the Vishanti are really the selection process for who is the Sorcerer
Yeah, like who
Supreme.
decides in the MCU? Like they never show you like a character, except for I guess like what was it? Well, the ancient one in Endgame says he's Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah,
And
but like it. I always liked it being the Vishanti because that's a little more like
official,
an objective.
Yes, an impartial
judge on who should be it. Like, you know, in Triumph and Torment, we see like even Doom shows up. He's like on the call.
Please give me a call.
He's on the list.
Yeah,
like of like possible people. But
and Morty Fleischman.
How do you do? But in this, since he blipped, they needed someone to fill the gap.
Right, which I think is fair.
That is fair. So
but now it's over.
Right, and listen, Wong is now the Sorcerer Supreme, which I am really interested to see what the next movie will hold for him. Because part of me feels like they're afraid of a Doctor Strange movie.
I think they are.
Because that's the post-credit scene, not the mid-credit, the post-credit scene. The like fully post-credit scene. Like logos have gone by and the movie is over and people should be leaving at this point. Like truly post-credit scene.
And then wha-bam!
Is a teaser trail. It's a teaser.
It's not even a teaser trailer. That's a trailer with extra scenes in it.
Yeah, of Doctor Strange, which like seeing it I
was exciting.
I was excited. I feel like I was excited.
I feel like you were too. I was worried every time I see them do anything with with Doctor Strange in the MCU. I'm like, oh jeez.
I was excited to see it.
How's Tiffany gonna react to this?
Yeah. There was something in there that got me.
Yeah, of course.
100% got me. But that having that trailer at the end to me said like they were a little worried.
Well, here's the thing: if you're even a little bit worried about people going to see your Doctor Strange movie,
yeah,
put it at the end of a movie everyone's going to go see.
Right.
And take the place of a scene that everyone's there to watch,
but
and replace it with a trailer.
That is like frightening to me because like for me, I'm like, oh, I'm excited.
Right.
Other people might be like, I wanted another Spider-Man thing.
Yeah, well, you're not gonna get one. I know the mid-credit scene sucks, but like, what are you gonna do?
But like that, like could be something where people are like, oh, that shouldn't. I don't know. But like, it might leave a bad taste in people's mouths.
Yeah, right. And that'll poison them too, going to see Doctor Strange 2.
I just don't know. I don't know if it'll give them the hype.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean. There's nothing other than the multiversal element to this. That's the only thing that ties it to.
I think other Spider-Men are going to be in that movie.
I'm sure, but in that trailer.
Oh yeah, no, they're not there. It's not like
it's
Andrew Garfield's helping them.
That. So like the people who are there and screaming at the screen because Spider-Men are in it.
They're not going to like
make the logical leap necessarily that like, oh, I should probably see this just in case like they do show up.
Right. Or at the very least, just because it'll be a fun movie starring a cool character that I enjoyed for like 90 minutes.
Right. And like Shumagorath.
Hey, Shumagorath, who is I think it's fair to say at this point that in the What If show, that's 100% Shumagorath.
I don't know. I disagree with that.
Come on.
I still disagree with it. Hey, do I tell you how to run your Spider-Man?
I'm just saying. It's a green botanically monster.
It's not necessarily green. He looks very different than Shumagorath actually looks like.
Yeah.
But we do get to see Shumagorath for a moment, which was the thing I said that if you're going to do something that's going to reference Lovecraftian titles and movies or stories or whatever, Shumagorath should probably be in there. Yeah. Being a direct connection there. And there he is. He's tiny-ish. Shumagorath has many sizes. It's fine.
He's bigger than he was in Marvel vs. Capcom.
And I don't want to make this into the Doctor Strange conversation, but like I was.
Well, it introduces you to Doctor Strange in this scene.
It also like gives you like he's in a weird place right now where like this Doctor Strange. It's almost like they were like it would make sense for someone else to be Sorcerer Supreme. Also, he has to like
do this thing.
Do this wrong.
Yeah, he has to screw up. And like I guess they don't feel like being the Sorcerer Supreme would allow you to do that. Yeah. I'm like, he could. Yeah. Oh, he screws up all the time, the Sorcerer Supreme.
He totally does. But he's in a definitely different headspace. Definite line change.
Yes.
Line change from the trailer for
multiple
Spider-Man.
Line changes, yeah.
And a line change from the teaser we see at the end. It's the same line in both trailers.
Yeah.
Where like Wong tells him not to cast it. And in this one, he's like, Go ahead. Don't tell me about it.
They cut the line. They put it in the trailer.
That's what I'm saying.
What the
In
hell?
the Doctor Strange trailer, Wong says, like, don't cast this spell.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, either there's a deleted scene or they specifically wanted to change your perception
of how that scene went.
Yeah, or their dynamic.
Yeah.
Although that, like, in the trailer for Spider-Man, like, that line, I was like, Wong's in charge.
Yes. You knew immediately.
Yeah. I was like, so it wasn't really a surprise. It was like a little like,
Yeah, but he's still Doctor Strange in every respect, and he's a lot of fun. And
without the gloves,
yeah,
but he's funny.
He only has the gloves in that one
No,
in Ragnarok.
He's never gonna get them back.
If anyone's gonna bring him back, it'll be Raimi.
I like their dynamic certainly.
Yeah. You don't have a lot of interaction outside of I guess Infinity War. Yeah, he only interacts with Tony and Steve. So yeah. All right.
So I like that. You know, there's something about Spider-Man that like Doctor Strange respects.
Yes.
But I don't think it's that.
And it's being created by Steve Ditko.
Sure.
No, it is. There's this cute little. Well, he's just this poor kid from like around the block.
Right, but like I think being this to me, this movie, and it's so funny how like every version of Strange outside of his own movie so far, like I've enjoyed more than the movie.
Of course.
Because to me, maybe there's a leap in logic, like he respects Peter because Peter's a genuinely good person, and that's where Steve lacks.
Right. He's like, I'm not. I'm impressed that you're always able to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I never did.
Yeah, so there's a respect there, even though like he's this high school kid.
Right. And he's still a person, so he's still gonna annoy the shit out of him.
Yeah. Later on in the movie, we get I want to say this now, like to me, I see it as like an Aaron reference. So he's got the refrigerator.
Yes.
Like that, like immediately brought me to those panels of like the stuff that he eats in order to control the cost for magic.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't think that's what they're doing.
No.
But I think they thought it was a fun visual.
It was a fun visual, great funny moment, but you know, all that.
But anyway.
Great interaction between him and Pete.
Mm-hmm.
They go into the Equalizer basement.
I love that he puts on his outfit. Like, cause we see Stevie's like wearing like
he's wearing like a coat. He's got like
freezing.
Oh, the people shoveling snow.
Yeah.
One of them is Zelma.
I know. I was going to say that.
Okay, go ahead. We'll talk about Zelma. Do you think that's going to come up?
I don't think so, but like immediately I was like, that's Zelma.
Yeah. Who's the other one? Probably just another intern.
Could just be another intern. It ain't Topaz.
No. Or Rintra.
No, that's for later.
Yeah.
No, I was like, that's Zelma. There's like literally no way that's not.
I didn't put that together at all.
Oh, really?
No, I was just like, who are these people? The fact they were in unison, I was like, I thought they were spells.
No.
I thought they were fake people that were being used to shovel.
I think they're just like they've been shoveling all day.
Yeah.
There's just and he's not doing anything.
Yeah. He cast a spell to make a fire in the fireplace. Doesn't cast a spell to make the snow go away or melt.
I don't know.
Weird.
It's character building. And they're probably making like $20. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So, but he changes from his like, I love that like low key Doctor Strange outfit. I look forward to seeing cosplays of that.
Me too.
Of like Winter Parka, Strange.
Yeah, Chilly Strange.
Puts on the uniform though because we're gonna do magic. Goes in the basement. An episode of The Equalizer
was filmed there.
He makes reference to what I assume is ley lines, but I don't think they're gonna mention ley lines.
They can. Nobody knows what that is.
I'm just saying. I was like, haha.
Yeah.
Into Shambhala.
Reprint that.
Never gonna do it. And they cast the spell. Which, if you saw our episode where Sal very aptly pointed out that it's not one more day. It's omit. It's omit. It's one moment in time. That's what they're doing.
Yep.
I appreciate understanding the trailer sequence a little better. That all the broken
are different additions to the spell.
Or different changes in the spell.
Yeah.
I also love that because that to me, and I don't know how you feel about this, is very Peter Parker. He talks a lot.
He does. I like the idea of him talking a lot. I don't like the idea that he didn't think. For me, it was a little nitpicky where I was like, he didn't think of May. He didn't think of that ahead of time. No. But he's already doing it on the seat of his pants.
So think about this. He came there to ask him to go back in time.
Yeah, I didn't come up with a mind erasure spell.
No, he was like, "Oh, you can go back in time," and then he's like, "Oh, wait, you can't anymore." Yeah. Steve's the one that presents we could do this.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I feel like it's more like he's like, "We can do that. Can
right?
We do that.
Yeah,
how's that going to work?" He doesn't know.
Yeah,
and so fair. I think that's just
But I do like him.
Steve didn't give him enough time.
No,
to think this through.
No, they should have been like, all right, well, since we're going to erase everyone's mind, why don't we just have a seat? We'll drink some coffee and we'll hash this out.
Yeah, no, but Steve's as he points out, he forgets that he's
a kid.
Yeah, because he's so
well, and Steve, I think, is eager to impress him. You know, he's like, well, I became a surgeon because I wanted to be the best, and I wanted people to know I was the best.
Yeah.
And I'm not even Sorcerer Supreme anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm like Batmaning, where I'm just like, I need to impress this small child.
Mm-hmm.
And then it doesn't work out, so I yell at him and make him leave.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and by the way, and make him worse off than when he arrived, because I
Yes.
gave him the hope, and then I took it away from him, and then I made him leave. Made it his fault.
Yes.
But yeah, so he leaves.
Yeah,
And
he leaves again. Very like the two of them, great dynamic.
great chemistry.
When he's like, listen, kid, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry you're not gonna like get in, and like, you're like everything's ruined, and like, you pitched your idea, or you pitched like your
plea.
Yeah, and like they didn't take it. And he's like, wait, what? And I'm like, that is such a like high school.
Yeah.
Like you don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know I could call. I didn't know that I could call.
Yeah.
When I was rejected from schools, I was like, I could call them back. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
But like Steve's like gets really mad about that.
It's good stuff.
Because like, that's just who he is.
Right.
Good character, like development and acting for both actors there, but that's what sets like,
Yep. Cute subplot of Pete trying to fix it and then going to the MIT admissions lady.
Okay, can we talk about that really quickly? Because there was a little tiny detail that, and I don't know if that's not a tiny deal, it's just a detail that they threw in that like I am in love with.
Okay.
Pete has Pete's suit in a like filmed footage style video is ruined. Someone throws paint on him.
Mm-hmm.
And he has to resort to his like Iron Spider Stark suit, right? When he's swinging through, he takes it off. He's got his suit underneath it, and it is destroyed. It's just
wrinkled.
It's a wrinkled mess.
He looks terrible.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that
because
every
his
time
suit,
Tony would take it off, it's flawless.
It's perfect. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's also, I think it's just Pete has a lousy suit.
It's
like
a quality issue. I love that.
It's a cheap suit, and that's great.
He's just wrinkled. He's like, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He straightens his tie like that matters because like you look like you just fell out of a bus.
Yes. Adorable.
Yeah, it's great. That's a great detail. So yeah, he then he's attacked by Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2, and it's like, and all bets are off. The theater goes ape shit, and you get to see Alfred Molina, who is now 70, who is portraying a character he played in 2004.
Listen, Doc Ock showed up, and the people reacted like they had no idea Doc Ock was.
Like they didn't know Doc Ock was going to be in the movie.
Okay, they're just hype. They're just hype.
Yeah.
Have a great fight. I like the changes that the trailer, like the trailer portrayed a certain type of reveal. We got a different type of reveal.
Yep.
I really, really enjoyed their dynamic.
Yes. Yeah. Pete dealing with an actual supervillain. It's really rare, if ever. Well,
and not a like nigh godlike one.
Literally, it's like he's dealing with a dude like from around the corner or Thanos.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's dealing with a supervillain who wants to destroy him, which is so rare.
And he's like, I
don't know how to do that. And well, then he beats him immediately. And he's
I love it. He tries to make him talk.
Yeah.
Like we could just talk.
Yeah.
About
hang
this,
on a minute, man. He's like, what? That's not how we do things in my universe.
Yeah.
But great interaction and a great little like. It's funny because Alfred Molina and Willem Dafoe and everybody else who appears in this movie really, like, except for Jamie Foxx, play the character like they're from their movie, but don't like overdo it or like ratchet it up. They're just given an opportunity to do it again.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And with a little more, like a little more subtlety that's expected from the audience. And I really like that.
Yes.
I love the portrayal, and you can kind of pinpoint where they were all taken out of their respective universes, which is fun.
Yes.
But Doc Ock is transported to the holding cell
just as Green Goblin arrives. Again, uproarious cheers.
Oh yeah, people lose it. And then Peter goes on his adventure to Scooby-Doo this shit.
But I like it's revealed, like Strange is like, listen, like this is what happened. It's the same they have in the trailer. He catches the lizard.
Yeah.
We don't even see that.
I love that idea. That Doctor Strange goes into the sewers and catches the lizard. He's also wrecked.
Yeah.
Because like I don't fight villains. I don't fight super villains. So that was fun.
So he deals with that. A great for me line in this movie is Peter's description of Green Goblin to Strange.
Yeah, big green flying elf.
Yeah. I'm like, because he's on for like maybe a second.
Well, because you don't get Goblin from that.
Not necessarily.
You do when he takes the mask off, though. Then you really get Goblin out of it. Because Willem Dafoe looks like a goblin.
He does not. Leave him alone. He's a great actor.
He's a brilliant actor. I love him in everything.
Right. We get the band together. We get the the Scooby-Doo this shit.
Yep.
Like sequence. Strange dealing with children, even more children now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
I love Ned saying, I can't believe I'm in the Sanctum Sanctorum, and Doctor Strange like, me either.
yeah.
Like, yeah, I can't believe I'm basically sponsoring a field trip.
Yes, that's exactly what he's doing. Another quick thing, again, it's just like interaction between like Pete and Steve that like he's like, call me Steven.
Yeah.
And then when he screws up the spell, he's like,
You call me sir.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Pete immediately
Goes
into
back to it.
And
Yeah.
He can't help himself. He's like, okay.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, okay, no problem.
So yeah, they get the plan. He gets the magical upgrade. We don't get a scene that I predicted, which was that they both have to. He's like, in order to activate, you have to do this. I really expect that to happen. I'm sure there were a lot of deleted scenes in this movie.
Expected that. I did not expect that at all.
I really
because
did.
he doesn't really do that.
Yes, he does.
Not so like Strange.
Strange doesn't do that very often. No, but like
No.
he could be like, in order to do the enchantment, you have to do it like this.
Right, but like I felt like if Strange had more time actually casting spells in his movies,
you might actually see him.
We might have actually had that happen.
That's true.
But like it's less associated with the MCU version of Strange than it is,
right.
Kind of.
Yeah. So they get their plan. We get the explanation for his black suit, which is it's the red and black suit inside out. I love that. I think it's great. I also there's a really like interesting. They keep harping on his suit has paint on it. It's from a like montage shot.
Yeah.
It makes me think that scene must have been a lot longer.
I just think it was a way for them to
change the costume and sell another hot toy. But yes, it still works. And by the way, I like playing it. If you get the PS4 or PS5, you can download those costumes and you can play as that. And it looks great. This is really fun. And then you get that beautiful sequence you enjoyed so much on the way to fight Electro.
Yeah, for some reason, this sequence, like, okay, there are so many amazing shots and sequences of the movie, and I'm sure for a lot of folk, they all come
towards the end,
2/3 of the way into the movie.
Yes.
That's where like it's fire,
Mhm.
right? But there's this very like quiet moment for me, and it struck me on both viewings. It
Same
struck me
here.
the exact same way. Which
When you
I was
mentioned,
like,
I was like, oh, you saw it too.
I was like,
yay.
and I almost want to say breathtaking shot, but it's him like he's swinging out to presumably Jersey.
Yeah, Jersey or the Everglades. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
or like Everglades.
Not the Everglades. The the Hamptons or something.
Yeah, it could be. But he's swinging out because like there's like a sighting of a flying whatever, and he's like, oh, that must be Green Goblin.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know it's Green Goblin, so he goes out there, and it's the setting sun against this like pink lit sky, right? And there are these towers with lines, like the power lines between them, and it's just Spider-Man swinging.
Yeah.
And for me, that was a moment where I was like, Spider-Man is real.
Yeah.
And I could see him tomorrow.
Right. No,
like,
it's
in life. Like,
the very, very like quiet, like moody music that you don't normally get in a Spider-Man movie, or at least one of these. Plus you get the sound, you get to hear him actually like, and there's no like noise.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of noise in this movie, a lot of action.
Yeah.
Not like Venom 2, where there's just the movie is noise, but made manifest. Like this is just like you get a minute. I love the breath in these movies. And that's one of them. Is this movie? It's just like that shot is so
like,
beautiful.
I don't know what about it like it made him real.
Because it
made him real. I was like,
yeah, because they just did it so subtly and so well.
Yeah, superheroes are real, and
I'll hopefully see them tomorrow. But yeah, no. So he fights Electro. Jamie Foxx is back. He's completely different, and I think that the stipulation was like, I'll come back, but I can't play that character again. Like I have to do a different version.
So I was talking to somebody else about this, and I was like, maybe what this means, because like he specifically says this is what I look like here, and I'm like, does that mean that there is a version of this character here?
Right. There is a Max Dillon, and it's played by Jamie Foxx, and he's just
a different character,
just a different guy.
And so like when he showed up, the universe like shifted him to make him fit.
It could be.
And that like the other, like there's no there's no
Osborn.
Yeah, at least not like there's no Otto Octavius, there's no Kirk Connors. Maybe there are other individuals.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We had the thought that like maybe the universe changed them
a little bit.
Like when you come here and you stay here too long, the universe like adapts to fit you here.
Yeah, but he's the only one that mentioned.
He's the only one who does
that specifically.
Yes. But I like that, and I'm fine with it because nobody liked that version, and Jamie Foxx is an Academy Award-winning actor as well.
Yeah.
Who deserved another shot. And gets it. There's a line that DJ Woolridge, my co-host on another show we do on his Patreon, mentioned where he said, Jamie Foxx's character said, "Don't make me a murderer, Peter." And it's like, dude, you killed like at least 100 people.
Yeah, but he's like, but not here.
And that's your that was your justification.
That's my
It's like,
justification. He's like, I get a fresh start here. I'm
Right.
still going to be a villain.
yeah.
But like, I technically haven't killed anybody
in this
here.
reality. If I stay here, it's like a mulligan.
Yeah, it's fine. I get a do-over.
And I totally get that. That kind of Max really is like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we get him. We get Sandman, which I was shocked to get any Sandman. I remember seeing Storm Clouds and being like, Sandman's in this, but like I was shocked that he gets a character.
I love when he shows up. He's like, "Hey, Peter,
it's me." He's like, okay, great stuff. And I like that he helps out, and then immediately is like, "Oh, you betrayed me. I'm on
like,
team bad
and
now."
again, like shout out to the writers of this movie for like really taking the characters from the movies that they came from and keeping a lot of their characterizations throughout, like as like a through line.
Yeah,
because it would have been easy for them to just be like, yeah, it's the same guy and it's the same look or whatever, but like I'm going to change it to fit here.
But I need them to do this, that, and the other.
No, like he's like, no, that is what Sandman is like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's not terribly bright.
No, exactly. So then he's caught most of them. They're going for Norman. Steve, they all kind of trade notes, and they find out that like
May calls him.
May calls him. Yeah. No, May calls him because like Norman has arrived.
Yeah. But
we get a great scene with Norman where he like changes his costume and like
Oh, that was pretty good. That was very evocative of Peter leaving his
costume in the garbage. Yeah,
like it's hung on the dumpster and he destroys it and then he leaves the alleyway.
Yeah, that's right.
So I was like, that's a fun little like wink. Like, hello. I can't wink, by the way. I have a really hard time winking. So if you saw that pained look on my face, I was trying to wink.
Yeah.
But yeah, they trade notes and determine like the villains determine that like most of them were plucked from their timelines right before they died.
Yes.
Except maybe Sandman.
Except for definitely Lizard and Sandman. And so Lizard and Sandman do not die, but the other two do.
Yeah, but like it's not every one of them. It's the through line really is that they all know who Peter Parker is.
Exactly.
And that's the whole thing.
Yeah, that's not what it's about. So yeah. So
like, that puts Peter in an awkward position because he's like, well,
I'm gonna send them I'm catching these people and sending them to their deaths.
Yes. Even though it's not directly
my fault.
Yeah, like they were always going to die.
Right, but like now they're not. Like right now they're not.
Now I have to,
and we
like,
know that we know they will die, so maybe we should stop this. So yeah, Pete has like a half cocked idea about what to do, but doesn't really have it fully formed until later. And it results in a Doctor Strange fight after he picks up Norman, who has interacted with Aunt May, and kind of like Aunt May, I feel really bad for Marissa Tomei. I remember her doing interviews before this movie came out where she was like, I'm underutilized. Like when I took this role, after I took the role of Aunt May, I started getting mom roles, and like that's not who I am. That's not what I want to do, and I don't want to be the mom character. And no one lets me do anything.
Yeah,
and like, yeah, she's an Academy Award-winning actor too, and she deserved to like have the conversation scene, and we don't have that.
Yeah, I agree.
And so she's given they beef up her role
a little bit. I don't know if it makes up. But it
doesn't, but she's given stuff.
But she also gets to act against Willem Dafoe, which, listen, do I love the idea of Green Goblin having some sort of mask, like to create like a costume?
Totally.
Sure. Do I love seeing Willem Dafoe acting? I think I like that more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like he is a phenomenal actor. And like it really hit me here with not having the mask on in this movie. Why he fit the role so well than the others. And I don't know why this was the movie that it took.
Right.
But this was the movie that it took.
Yeah.
For me to like get that. I don't know if it's also just in a different stage in his career.
Yeah.
Like he's a different Willem Dafoe.
That's
same
true.
character, just a little, it's more seasoned at this point. But he does like little bits of business. They go to feast. I love him arriving at feast. Like Peter immediately like assumes the worst.
Yeah, that she's under attack.
Yeah.
And he's just a broken man who like is from another world. I went to my house and my son's dead.
He's not. He's like, I guess I realized that he's not here.
Yeah.
I don't have a son here.
Right.
I don't exist here. There's other people living in my house. My company is gone.
Right.
Like, so then like Peter and May have a conversation.
Yep.
About how like, Peter's like, I gotta send him back.
Yeah.
And like, she's like, you have to help them.
Right.
Like, and he's like, no, this is the way to help. And like, she immediately questions what his reason for doing it is.
Yep.
Because he's clearly trying to take the easier way out.
Yeah.
I get it. But during all of that, I love Defoe's bit of business.
Oh yeah.
The donuts.
Just him taking donuts.
Just shoving them into.
Like, I'm going to want these for later and I'm not going to be here later. So they go to Doctor Strange's place and he is immediately betrayed. And then they go on the plan where Doctor Strange is like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
Yeah. I don't care.
Right. I don't care.
It
And
takes
this,
a lot to get me there.
like, I did you, I offered to do you a favor and it blew up in my face and I'm still dealing with it.
Yeah.
Like, this should be over by now.
Yeah,
This should have
and,
been over an hour ago.
Yeah, we have to fix this before Wong finds us.
Exactly. So Peter immediately like starts a superhero fight, which comic book Peter Parker would absolutely do and has done 1,000 times. Marvel team up is predicated on it. And we get an amazing action sequence where Spider-Man fights Doctor Strange in the mirror dimension, which is awesome.
Yes. Can I ask you what you think the ramifications are of him having his astral projection or his astral body pushed out of him, and yet Spider-Man's still able to?
It's the spider sense.
Is it?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's spider sense because I think
Okay.
you can. I heard you could see his spider sense when he's knocked out,
Oh, okay.
and I like that idea that he's just like no, like because no one can react. Like Hulk couldn't react to the Ancient One when she knocked him out, but
Yeah.
but Peter could move before Doctor Strange grabbed it. And he's like, this should not be possible. And
Yes,
it's like, yeah,
okay.
no, is his spider sense magic in the MCU? I'm totally fine with
Perhaps
that.
Madam Web is.
Could be Madam Web. I don't think so. But like, you know what? Why not? I'd love to see Madam Web, played by Dame Judi Dench, interact with Doctor Strange.
I'd go Helen Mirren.
Yeah, Helen Mirren. Well, Helen Mirren. Yeah, that's right. No, who's yes, that's right. I remember Helen Mirren in Excalibur, so I still associate her with being hot. So I was like,
I mean, she is.
so I was
still
like, isn't
hot.
she Thor's sister? And I'm like, that's Kate Blanchett.
It's Kate Blanchett. Yeah, no, Helen Mirren for.
Yeah,
for
Helen
Madam
Mirren
Web.
for Madam Web, absolutely, no question. But yeah, it's great. It's just but
Yeah,
but I'm fine with MCU Spider Sense being magic.
Mm-hmm.
So they fight and it's dope and it's awesome and I like him figuring out what the mirror dimension's all about and like
Using geometry.
using geometry. Oh, wait, you're great at geometry.
Now, see, I will say for me, I think this is another reason why they were like, he can't be Sorcerer Supreme.
Right, because he fell for it. No, but he's never fought Spider-Man.
That's true. That's true. But like, Steve so far has been, you know, like kind of Doctor Strange, then like, you know, the Doomsayer of Infinity War, a sort of help during
an end game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a drain pipe. Like he stops the flood.
Yeah.
He plays Moses in that scene.
To being like a little bit of a joke.
Yes.
And I'm like, this is an interesting journey for this character. And I'm not saying like boo, I'm just saying like
yeah.
Where's it going next?
Right, where are we going?
Next?
They don't know. They never do. So yeah, we get that. And ultimately, you know, he traps Doctor Strange in the mirror dimension and moves on. He takes a sling ring, which he shouldn't need.
Nope.
If you're Sorcerer Supreme, you should be able to make portals.
He literally can't get back.
He literally can't get back. He is saved by Ned at the end of the movie. That's horseshit.
I agree, but they had to get him out of the movie.
Yes, and I get it, and I appreciate it, but like maybe this will be the kick in the ass Doctor Strange needs to be like, do we really need sling rings? This is a real liability.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That sequence, though, does afford us a joke later on that I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
It's like just a stupid joke, but I really appreciated it.
Which one?
The one where, like, you know, he's like, I've been dangling over the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
I'm like, you went to the Grand Canyon? He needed you.
Yeah. Well, hey,
Whoa, no.
That wasn't that.
You don't.
Yeah, you don't know how this works. So yeah, then Peter goes on a different quest to figure it out, and so he like invites all of his rowdy friends to his apartment to hang out.
Yeah.
It's a cute scene. I love it. It's punctuated in a brilliant way by showing the door cam footage of all these characters walk in. I love it.
It's spectacular.
So funny, and it's such a great way to like make it real.
Yeah, and you get a payoff on that later on.
Yeah. Hey, I saw a guy made a mud. Oh, call me back. So
he's like driving.
Yeah, he's getting there, trying to get there as soon as possible.
But they're in New York, so
he's not gonna get anywhere.
No.
But yeah, and then we get that whole sequence, which is amazing.
Yes.
And I really like it, where Peter's like, I'm a scientist. I know how this shit works.
Yeah.
My universe is like, you know, it's like 10 years ahead of technology in your universes.
And like you immediately see Norman from, you know, his previous like relationship with Peter Parker kind of show up again.
Oh yeah.
Where like he's like there's almost a part of him that's like, if I don't get back, like
I'll take this kid. He's mine.
This is my son now.
Well, he's already grooming him.
Yeah.
In this movie.
But like as Norman. Like Norman has an appreciation.
Yeah, Norman is like, yeah. And but so is Gabi. And I expected it to be that, like, I thought, and they didn't do this, which I'm like shocked by, that in the like cures and in the cures for all the villains, that Norman wasn't secretly making an enhancement formula.
Right. but Peter was too involved with it, and he would have figured it out.
Yeah.
Like, we're like showing that like this Peter Parker is very scientifically driven.
Yeah.
In a different way, because like all of them have been.
Yeah.
Toby, Andrew, science.
Yep.
Whatever. But like.
Yeah, but Peter has like
Peter,
a magic box from Tony Stark.
He's got a magic box from Tony Stark. He's worked with Stark, like, you know what I mean? Like, he goes to a he
goes to a science school.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So like it's just like they're like, science. We're doing science.
Yeah.
So I feel like he wouldn't like. I think Peter would have been like, that doesn't make any sense. You can't do that.
Yeah, but he's very distracted too.
He was a little distracted. I also appreciate, again, we're getting to see characters interact that literally never had an opportunity.
No, you get to see Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus interact with each other from the Raimiverse. What a cool idea.
Yeah.
How fun.
We get to see like characters from other universes interacting, like
Sandman and Electro.
Yeah, and what I love about that, and this is just, again, solid storytelling for me, is Sandman's like stupidity, that he's like, no, the faster you guys get your cures, the faster I can go home, because all I want to do is go home and see my daughter. And it's like, dude, if you slow down for like 5 seconds, this kid's offering to make you a person again.
Right. Like, you should be on his side.
Yeah, you should be like, no. You, like, hurry up and take your cure so I can get mine.
Yeah.
No. He's jumped. He's like, I don't care. I'm going to go home.
Right. Every villain has their own motivations, and they're justified, except for Lizard, who just kind of is there.
Well, that's why he waits in the van.
That's why he waits in the van.
He waits in the van.
You sit in the van, Lizard, because you were the weakest one. And it's like, yeah, you were. It's a shame.
I do love that reveal that he can talk.
Yeah, I like that too. I also like that they were like, make him greener. Turn up the saturation.
I didn't know you could talk.
I did not know you could talk. Yeah, it's great. And fun. I like that Electro's motivation is just like, fuck this. I'm an MCU character now.
Yeah.
Screw Venom. I want to be in the MCU. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'll be Electro in this universe.
Yeah. We get to see a Dr. Octopus in control.
Yep, which is great.
Yeah. I love that the chip works.
Yep.
I love that spider sense moment a lot.
Oh, it's so good.
Like, at first I was like, what the hell's happening?
Well, because there's so much danger in the room.
Yeah.
Like, where is
so
it coming
much
from?
Potential danger.
Yeah. Yeah. And then him reacting. That is so Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love May with the smudging stick too. She's got like a bundle of sage. She's like clearly like cleansing the room.
Yeah. Thanks, May. So yeah, they get, and then we get a big dope fight.
Dope fight
with Spider-Man and Green Goblin in a.
It's really everybody.
It's
like, everybody takes an opportunity, like,
to kick his
Electro
ass.
blasts Doc Ock out a window. Doc Ock flees.
I guess he just goes away. It's sad we don't really get any more Doc Ock, but I'm glad that they don't kill him off.
We don't, because I think they want us to think one thing.
Yeah.
And then reveal the other, obviously.
Right, yeah.
And so they made him leave. Sandman, because he's Sandman, just leaves, even though he shouldn't have.
Nope.
But he's Sandman.
But he's a dumbass, so it's okay.
She's like, cool,
Fine.
he leaves. Electro leaves. Lizard busts out.
Yep.
I love that Jonah shows up. It makes everything 10 times worse.
Yep. Yep. Dox is a 17-year-old boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's his character.
I know.
He's based off of monsters.
Yeah. But great fight. I love that Lizard like is just a chaos agent in that moment.
Yeah.
He just throws him in.
Well, he's just like, I don't care. I'm fucking around. I'm a lizard.
Yeah.
My sole motivation was turning people into lizards.
Which we do touch on earlier in the movie. I kind of love that conversation.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx really just like.
Yeah. Until you try to turn everybody into lizards.
Yeah.
It's great.
He's like, I can help you.
Yeah.
He's going to involve turning you into a lizard.
Yeah.
You have one plan, man.
Right. It's a one-track mind.
It's just lizards.
Really, really raw fight, and it should be. Like
that.
I was thinking about the fight with Toby and Willem in the first movie, and how like it really doesn't get that much. Like it really doesn't get for Spider-Man ever that raw. Even for Tobey Maguire's character in the other two Spider-Man movies.
It's it's just different directors, different feels.
No, but I'm saying like Raimi like never really does that again. Like Spider-Man never has like the stakes are never higher
than when he's fighting
Doc or Green Goblin.
Yeah.
And that is the case in this as well. Yeah. And it's great. Like it's just he really gets it, and he's giving it to him, and he's giving it back.
Yeah, and this is again another instance for me that like I kind of appreciated him not having the mask, because when they're in the hall and he's punching him and
he just looks at him and smiles like he's just taking it.
He's just gleefully taking it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
oh,
okay,
that's it. That's right. That's Green Goblin.
You're a lunatic.
Yeah. Well, and your power, like, and you could take it.
And you can take it. You're like,
I'm a god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They destroy a large part of the building.
Yep.
In their fight.
Right.
And then we land in the like lobby of the hotel or the hotel of the condo apartments, whatever
it's condos.
It's townhouses. Yeah. Where the fight continues. But May has she's trying to leave as well.
Yeah.
She has all of the cures in a
Right.
bag.
Yeah.
In a feast like reusable
Yeah,
bag.
of course.
And this is where I think we see a bit of like what Tomei wanted from this role a little bit
Yeah.
more. It's like a little more action oriented.
Totally.
Like she puts together the goblin, or she gets the goblin like antidote.
Yeah.
And she
That's what I don't get. It was like she jabs it into his neck and he's like, it didn't work. And I'm like, what do you mean it didn't work?
he probably either they didn't finish it or it was wrong.
Right. That's what I was expecting.
But like
it to
I
be
think
like,
it was innocuous. It didn't do anything.
Right, yeah.
Like, you know, he led Peter down a path to fix it. Like whether Goblin was like controlling
control or
things
not,
here
yeah.
or there, or like, you know, changing the science, because Norman was in control for a bit.
Yeah, I think so.
Clearly.
Yeah, which was always my question, because I remember at the end of the first movie, I was like, was Norman always faking it? Like, is it bullshit?
Well, in this, like he acts as though like Goblin was behind, like, you know, just like waiting for his moment.
Exactly, and I think that's in this case that's true, because
Mhm.
he can be cured.
Mhm.
So yeah, then we get the big another big gut punch moment of the movie, which is you know,
Him like, okay, so like it's clear that like this was the plan from the get-go for Goblin. 'Cause
Yeah.
again,
well, he focuses
talk
on
about
her.
it-
He mentions her a bunch of times throughout
Yeah.
the movie, like, so you could tell like
Yeah.
that was his plan.
like he needs to get Spider-Man in a specific spot. Goblin wants Spider-Man in a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And that moment where like she's standing there like holding the piece of like she pulls that
Yeah.
thing down, like she's like, I have to defend my boy.
Yes.
Against this thing that I clearly cannot defend my boy against. And like he's got his face wrenched up
Yep.
to look,
Like,
and
look
he
at
looks
this,
like,
like,
but he
watch.
it looks like at first like he's like threatening to kill him, but
Yeah.
like, then you realize
No, he's holding him there to like make sure to watch this.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be friggin' awesome when I
Yeah.
hit her with my goblin glider, which of course he does.
which he does.
And then he takes off and he says, "You can thank me later," and takes off. We get a really, really great gut wrenching acting tour de force in both of them.
Yeah, that moment where she gets up,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and then immediately as soon as she gets up, I was like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
Like this is that mom like parent like adrenaline. Where
Yeah.
it's like I have to know he's okay
Exactly.
before I can pass on.
Exactly.
Like I can't die knowing he's not okay.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh
Yeah. She gets the immortal line, which is comic accurate
yes.
and also totally justified and earned.
Yes, and I think there were a couple of different reactions in the theater we were in.
Mhm.
Some people were like mad that she dared to utter those words.
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
think
like,
that's horseshit. I didn't catch that, but I was so invested in the moment that I couldn't care less.
I heard a couple people that like they were like,
Yeah, yeah, scoff.
and I'm like, this is a different one.
We've seen two Uncle Bens die.
We've seen two Uncle Bens die, and I'm not saying it wouldn't have been nice to have an Uncle Ben, but like we've been on the like Peter May journey together, and like so there was something. It's entirely different. I'm not saying it's not different. It's an entirely different moment. But like we've been with them, and like we've seen their relationship, and we know the strength it has, even with the like small amount of screen time that may have had.
Yeah.
Like it just hits in a different way.
Exactly.
Oh God, that like death scene goes on.
Yeah.
Like in a great way,
Right,
because
but
I
like
thought they were gonna rush it.
Me too.
But they don't, and
No.
it's so real.
Yeah.
And so sad because you're
Mhm.
like, you know,
Well, we've seen Tom Holland's already played a death scene already, and it's really good. And it's like you could see how sad it is.
Yeah.
So he gets to do it in a different way, and it's really very different, but also
Yeah.
excellent.
but like, you know, it's a son.
Losing his mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Super sad. Then he takes off, and then we get the big stuff. We get the big reveals.
Did you like that visual? Because I really enjoyed that visual. Him in the rain with the bag of
Yeah.
stuff, like
Looking at facing Jonah,
like
just
a
telling him he failed.
gigantic, a like, you know, 5 times larger like version.
Oh, it's
of
amazing.
Jonah.
No, it's like that's the thing. People were talking about how like lousy the direction and the like cinematography are or is in this trilogy, and it's like, no, I think what you're confusing if you do feel that way is that like, you know, Mark Webb's movies are like inspired by like Nolan,
Mhm.
and that's not a Spider-Man movie, though the web slinging is amazing in those movies.
Mhm.
And Raimi has such a distinct style that it's never gonna look like that.
Mhm.
And if you try to approximate it, you're only gonna fail. Like, just
Right.
don't. So with this, it's very much like a like here's something else.
Mhm.
Like, and here's something very like it's a genuine effort, and that's the kind of stuff. And there are like you can count on like 2 hands the amount of
Yeah.
shots in these 3 movies where like, oh, like that's the movie.
Yeah, I want to like, I know we're gonna go over super chats. I
We
do
are.
want to address like a quick comment that I just saw from actually a friend of the show.
Oh.
About how like the problem that they had with May saying the line, was it said like talking about fixing multiversal foes as opposed to like protecting trillions.
Right.
Like, like trying to save the trillions of people versus the 5.
Okay, Spock.
No. I don't think that that's what she's saying. I think what she's telling him is that like she's seeing him falter.
Right.
And like that's a dark road to go down.
Exactly.
Because like she's like, no, like you want to try to help these people.
You did the right thing and it blew up in your face. It doesn't mean that was the wrong thing to do.
Right. And like who is to say, other than Spock, I guess, like who's worth saving and who isn't? Because like at the end of the day, like we see, Jamie Foxx's character like recognize that like now that he like all he needed was a pep talk, really.
Yeah.
Like he needed someone to
listen to him. Which is the lesson of his movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, Doc Ock's a changed person and like even Norman is. And it's not Spider-Man's decision necessarily who's to save. He needs to try to save them.
Exactly.
And like she watches him falter for a moment and she's like, you can't do that. And like realizing now that like she's saying that because she's like, because I'm not going to be here to guide you.
Exactly.
And I'm like
I need you to hang on to this lesson.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to, because like no one's going to reinforce it.
Like
for
you need this as a guiding principle and I need you to remember this.
Yeah, exactly. I thought her delivery was excellent and the change was earned in this movie. But
I also love like Happy in that moment. He rolls up and
and he's just like, you can go. Like,
well, because like he knows that he already knows what happened. And like, having that moment earlier in the movie to remind you that they were in a relationship and it's just ended. And all he wanted to do was be a part of that family unit. Like he clearly wants to mourn and go to her.
Right.
But like, he's like, I have to save Peter because that's what she want me to do.
Exactly.
And I'm like,
yeah.
Anyway.
Good arc for him too.
Solid arc.
Yeah. So then Ned and MJ are doing their thing and they open some portals and the first person to come through is Andrew Garfield, which is exciting. Lost everybody lost it.
Like, and it's funny too, different theaters, 2 different times we saw it on Thursday and we saw it on Friday. And on Thursday there people ecstatic.
Yeah.
The next reveal, bigger reaction.
Yeah, blew the lid off.
The next night, his reveal
was bigger
than the second reveal.
Bigger, yeah.
It's interesting.
Some people have favorite Spider-Man.
I know. It was just very interesting.
Yeah, but Andrew Garfield hasn't missed a beat.
No.
So,
that I can't remember if that moment or if it was, I think it was that moment that we had gone with co-host Ben to see this movie, and seated next to him was a very passionate fan of Spider-Man, just overall.
Yeah.
Clearly just overall, just loves the movies.
Yep.
Loves the MCU, the whole thing, right? Loves Toby, loves Andrew, loves Tom, loves all of it, right? And he was, as Sal, very succinctly said, he didn't need to pay for his whole seat.
because he only used the
edge of it. Because he was physically leaning forward, just engaged.
Yeah.
And when that happened, I could, out of the corner of my eye, he was just,
yeah, he was someplace else.
He was, in Avatar: The Last Airbender, the super fan of Avatar that's foaming at the mouth and then faints. That's the energy we're talking here. And at one point, Ben just leaned over and was like, "It's gonna be okay."
Yeah.
That's the energy that we experienced.
Exactly.
But great reveal.
Yep.
Different path for the Spider-Man.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. That's not the tone of Amazing Spider-Man 2. Is where he ends up,
right?
But fine, because it needs to be a lesson, and I'm okay with that. Plus, who cares? Amazing Spider-Man 3 was going to be about clones, so we're good.
Yeah.
Great interactions. You could tell Andrew Garfield still loves being Spider-Man, and he's doing, he's great.
Right.
Cute scenes, all around. I don't want to go over every single detail of that scene, but it's a lot of fun. Then they're like, "That's not him. Let's get the real Peter Parker." And then the door opens up, and it's friggin', Tobey Maguire.
Which I gotta tell you, there was a part of me that that I think they're doing a lot of visual storytelling.
Yeah.
Right. Very much visual storytelling in terms of where the direction of these characters went in movies you didn't see.
Right.
So it's we get that later on that Andrew has his Spider-Man. He's like,
he is dressed as Spider-Man.
He's like, I don't have time for Peter Parker anymore.
Exactly.
I am just Spider-Man. And Toby's like, I found a balance,
right?
I guess. And
I'm Peter Parker. But I have my Spider-Man costume.
But sometimes I am Spider-Man.
Right.
It really depends. But it's also funny as a wink and a nod because of how much Tobey Maguire wanted to be on screen during this movie. So I was like,
yeah, you could tell he's like, no, I don't want to wear that costume.
But he does. And and I think he probably enjoyed it. I'm not saying he didn't, but I just thought that was ha 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 funny.
Yeah.
But again, visual storytelling without having to tell you, because that's what this movie does a lot.
Yeah.
This movie just puts things in there and it's here's the story.
Yep.
Hope you saw it.
Right, exactly. So then everybody goes and converges on Peter and his place to go, which is just school.
Let me tell you, I think when we saw it the first night and May dies, I cried.
Yeah, me
Obviously.
too.
But like, I don't think I felt it
Right.
until the friendship embrace.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, there was just something so like it was as though like I was letting myself feel what had just happened.
Exactly.
And like I just like that was such a nice moment.
It was. Yeah,
I
no, it
love
was
that.
incredibly tender, incredibly like well performed.
And
Didn't overdo it. There was no MCU like fart joke right after like a seriously tense moment.
But it's also one of those moments that is like it works flawlessly because it's like it fits those characters 100%.
Yeah.
But also there to be like, you have no idea what's about to happen.
Right.
And like, we'll want you to be in the right headspace for it.
Right. Yeah.
I'm
We need
like,
to go to the
okay,
next place.
yeah. I'm like, oh, that's so nice. They're
Right.
there for him. Nothing bad can happen.
No.
Friendship
So
all the way.
exactly. So then the Spider-Men all meet and they share notes and they talk about like where they come from and what they bring to the table and how different they all are, and it's great. This Peter is lost and broken and he's not interested in their bullshit or their great power stories.
No, he's like, I'm just gonna send you home.
Yeah, you gotta go. And then they all kind of like share a little story about like when they were lost and how they found their way. And it's
Well,
like
no,
really cool.
he says like, like they're both like, I'm sorry about May, because like for them, like that's
May
like,
doesn't die until later. Like
and it's like an unthinkable thing. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly. No, our Uncle Ben is supposed to die.
Yeah. But he's like, don't tell me. And like, this is such a real thing. You don't even have to be a Spider-Man for this to be something that you might say, but like
Right.
that, like you have experienced something traumatic, and
Right.
like someone goes to tell you, like,
I've been there before.
I've been there before, and that typically is not what you want to hear.
Right.
And so like for you to go like, please don't tell me that you know what I'm going through.
Exactly.
Because there's no way you
No,
know.
so they just tell stories instead.
They do, but then like, he's like, even as she was dying, like he starts to say it, and like Toby finishes it, and like I love that that's the connector.
Yes,
like,
he's
that's
like,
the thing.
oh.
Yeah.
Like maybe she didn't die for nothing after all.
Yeah, or like maybe I should listen to these guys, or maybe they do understand.
Yeah, yeah. So
and they turned out okay.
Right, exactly. Look at them. They look dope. Especially the one with the tall hair. He's gorgeous.
Yeah. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
Whew.
So yeah, then they figure out like, okay, we'll stick to the plan, chums. We're gonna cure these guys, and so they do, and it's one of my favorite, not like moments in the movie, but fan servicey moments in the movie, because I like when everybody just sits the hell down, takes off their costumes, and chats with each other for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And indeed they do, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of cute little moments. It's not, it doesn't go too deep cuts, but it is fun enough, and it's well performed, and everyone's like having a genuine interaction, and there's a lot of like, there's a really, really cute, fun scene where these three Peters are working together and whipping up their cures and sharing notes and talking about their web fluids, and it's really fun.
Yeah,
I really liked everything about that. Ned's interactions are really cute and fun. Good stuff. So then they whip up their cures and they're ready to go, and they've got their plan. Peter calls J. Jonah Jameson on the phone, which is fantastic. Great interaction. Not too much, but it's still.
It's funny. You thought it was that. The second time I watched it, I felt like he had sent a video message, and then Jonas just reacted.
To it. It's fake.
Yeah,
that wouldn't surprise me at all. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah. But good stuff. Then they go to the Statue of Liberty, which of course is being like MCU'd. They're putting a shield on it. I don't know. I remember them talking about that being a plot point. I don't remember that being a thing outside of like Hawkeye.
Right.
But we'll see if they put it back up.
Yeah, it kind of felt that.
But then we get another scene. Like, okay, so we saw Peter Parker interacting. Now let's see the Spider-Man interacting.
Yeah.
And they do, and it's a really cute, fun scene again. Great stuff all around. Like I loved all their interactions. I liked their like trading barbs and references.
I'm sorry, did you mention your favorite line?
Oh, I did not. Where they were going to go into battle, and Andrew Garfield is just like, he turns to Toby and he's just like, so are you going to fly into battle dressed like a cool youth pastor? Great
and
line.
That's when you get the reveal that he has the costume.
He has the costume, yeah.
Because like, what is he going to do? Put on one of
theirs?
One
like,
of Pete's?
Yeah, I'll wear my Iron Spider costume.
Yeah, which admittedly would have been cool, but
but he couldn't because it was broken, and he made a hybrid suit out of it, which I also wanted to mention is solid looking and looks great on PS5.
But like we would like, like everybody wants to see all
they want to see your
the
suit.
Suits, but like I love that. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Like cool youth pastor.
Cool youth pastor. Really funny. So the Spider-Men,
listen, we addressed the organic web fluid, like the whole thing.
Yep, villains and aliens and stuff like that. I fought a purple alien in space. I fought a black goo alien. Andrew Garfield saying, I want to fight an alien myself. Hey, listen, if you want to be the Spider-Man of the Venomverse, I think no one would complain.
Go for it.
If they're like, oh no, Venom has been in the Andrew Garfield, Mark Webb universe the whole time. I'd be like, yeah, fine by me.
See, I think that they're going to make a Sinister Six and make Venom be the Spider-Man of that universe his own way.
Oh God in heaven.
Anyway,
spare us. So yeah, then like they hatch their plan, the villains converge, and it's super fun, and it's a really cool, cute, like
And again, I'm not
fight.
saying that the visuals from that, like, there isn't something exciting
About seeing all 3 Spider-Men run off and jump.
Yeah, so like when they first like we get like the like it's a little tropey where it's like and it's tropey, but it also totally works.
Oh, how they don't work together?
Yeah, like 2 of them can't really work together. One of them is too young to know how to lead.
Yes.
And so they have a really hard time about it. You get a great conversation.
We suck at this.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to work as a team.
Yeah.
Me either.
I do. That's my difference. That's what I'm doing.
Like I was on the team. I don't want to brag.
Yeah, but I was on the Avengers.
I love
Avengers.
Toby's. I love that level of sarcasm. That is so East Coast sarcasm.
And that's very that Spider-Man too. The Avengers, that's great. What is that?
I don't know what that is. What?
Yeah.
You don't have that?
You don't have any other superheroes in your universe?
Yeah.
No.
But that I think is like for a lot of people, like when they're like we're doing a tracking shot behind them, all 3 of them are running through scaffolding.
Yeah.
It's first of all, totally New York.
Yeah.
Like I associate scaffolding with New York.
Right. Thank you for setting it on the Statue of Liberty, by the way.
Yeah. Super cool.
Technically takes place in New Jersey.
It takes place in New Jersey, but it's something iconic to that area.
Yeah.
But also make sure that we have no collateral damage, like other than the statue itself. So they really can just do what they need to do.
Exactly.
It's smart. It's a smart choice. But you got them running and then they jump off and they start swinging. And I know you didn't see, but next time you watch it, you're going to have to see this. I think, and maybe someone in chat noticed this as well, when they're all swinging together, I think there's a point where Toby and Andrew web swing up to, what's the word I'm trying to say? Web shoot?
They just shoot their webs.
Yeah. At Tom, and he like catches those webs, or like they attach to him and he like kind of flings them.
Yeah.
And it's like a very brotherly, fun moment. I was like, yay, they're figuring it out.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Toby almost drowns in sand.
Right. Which is cool.
Almost.
But great scene. You know, they cure everybody one by one.
Yes.
They decide to attack each person.
Yes. And can we point out too that there is a moment that I completely missed the first time I watched it. The second time I watched it, I was like, oh, they set this up because they're smart. Because like there's a turn for Tom at one point that I was like, totally makes sense, but I didn't know that they were going to do this. And then rewatching it when they're in the science lab and they're pulling out all the cures, he's got the 3 of them laid out.
Oh, he doesn't mention Norman's.
He doesn't mention Norman's. He specifically pushes that one to the side.
Yeah, and then
like
Toby's
Andrew's like, oh, I'll take this one because I already did this one, and like he's like, I'll deal with this one.
Yep.
And this one, and then Toby's like, oh, and I'll do this. I've had some thoughts because like that's the point. We're gonna cure them all, right? And
he's like,
yeah, okay, yeah, no,
that's not my plan.
But I kind of missed that interaction. Like it just kind of went
I caught
over
on the
my
second
head.
one, yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh my gosh, like he had this plan.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you're all gonna be distracted, and I'm gonna murder this guy.
Yeah, and it's gonna be totally cool and fine. Don't worry about it because I need to do this.
Yeah,
because I've lost too much.
Yeah.
So
then we get Toby and I should say Tom and Willem's like fight part 2, which is awesome. Before that, of course, like they do the whole like kids in the portals, and Doctor Strange gets freed, and the portals aren't working right, so the kids are stuck on the scaffolding, and then things go crabbed,
and Strange gets to like
see that he's wrong, and
which
I
appreciate that, because again, that's very his character, because he's just like, no, of course it's not going to work. I didn't come up with a plan.
Right, exactly.
Like,
oh, fine.
Like this is why I respect this kid.
Right, exactly. MJ falls. Obviously, Pete goes to save her. Like Tom, he is hit by the Goblin.
Yeah, Goblin gliders,
which
right
sets
on
that up. And so Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man goes and saves her in the like redemption sequence for Gwen, which of course, like I think people were expecting even when they only saw it in the trailer and there were no Spider-Man in it.
I don't know, because like that gentleman I was talking about that was sitting on the side of Ben, I could hear him going like, oh my god, he's gonna save her. Oh my god, he's gonna get redemption. Oh my god, this guy was like, it's like he'd never seen a movie before,
right?
And I loved it. I kind of loved his energy. I'm sure for Ben, it was like, dude, I'd like to watch the movie.
Yeah, he was out.
But for me, I was like one scene away, and I was like, this is great. This is great. I'm having a good time.
Yeah. But he does save her, and I believe that the shot composition is also evocative of the original sequence, where it's like the same, where like originally like there's just that static shot and she falls and hits her head. In this case, it's the static shot, and then they both just land.
Yes,
really nice. And I love him catching her and then crying, and him being like, "You okay?" And she's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah."
I know that they're like, "Oh right, Ned, we have to save him too."
Oh yeah, cape.
Yeah, cloak of levitation.
Cloak. That was great. Good for him. It's cute. I like Doctor Strange being like, "Oh, you could open portals, eh? Maybe you can be Doctor Strange too. We'll see. Probably not, though.
I won't remember you.
I will not remember you. That's right. I don't know you.
Yeah.
Never mind. Good luck with that.
I actually really liked him being on top of the Statue of Liberty on the flame
Oh,
and
yeah.
looking at the chaos that has occurred.
Yeah.
Because it's a very humbling moment for that man. He needs those.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
It is a very cool moment for him where he's just like, oh shit.
Right. Because the spell went out of control and they didn't send them back. Like everything that knows that Peter Parker Spider-Man comes through the portals or whatever, like the world is going to get destroyed by that, or because what happens when Black Cat from another universe shows up? Like, I don't know.
And he's like, I will be okay with that one.
Yeah, that one can stay.
That one, yes.
But yeah, a couple of Easter eggs. I saw Kraven and Black Cat.
I saw Kraven and a literal scorpion.
Right.
I was like, scorpion totems?
Yeah,
I'm sure there's way more, but like
there certainly was an implication.
The first time there, I was just like in awe.
Yeah, I was just like, what?
And then the second time, I don't know what happened to me.
Yeah, I don't know. It was hard to see. But they're gonna come through, high stakes. Peter
But like
fights.
we don't have time for that because we gotta go have a really dark fight.
Yeah,
that's great.
Tom fights Defoe and it's awesome on the shield.
Yeah,
and,
that hit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, he comes down super hard and all of the Goblin's like,
oh, you were gonna kill me. Yeah. Great fight. The two other Spider-Men are like, nah. Toby steps in place and rescues
Tom from himself.
Yeah, exactly. And then he gets stabbed, and the audience is like, no. The audience is the first night was going to turn, and I was like, boy, I hope that they don't kill Tobey Maguire because I don't want to see this place set on fire.
Yeah, because I literally were too far in the back of the theater. Like, there's no way we get out of here in time for the riot that will ensue.
Because there really would have been a riot.
Oh my god.
But I think those are reshoots. I think he did die, and then they reshot it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But anyway, he doesn't die. He's been stabbed before, and everything's okay. And they cure Norman, and now he's an asshole again, but just without powers. And they come up with and I'm
gonna say presumably in that moment the reason he doesn't get out of the way is because at that time the bigger threat was Tom.
Yeah, exactly.
Being going down a dark path.
Exactly.
And if it's not that he was, going to be killed, maybe he also knew he's like, this isn't going to be fatal. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's just going to suck.
Right. Exactly. Also, I skipped over the fact that Jamie Foxx's Electro character, when he's cured, he gets the pep talk from Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, who's just who just needed to hear that. And he's like, man, I thought you were black. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, come on. It's okay. There's got to be a black Spider-Man out there somewhere. The audience is like, woo.
Yeah.
I really expected him to show up. I expected a friggin' Miles Morales moment at that moment because this movie was just here you go.
Right. No, I think they're going to save that because again, we've already established that. Yeah. That bloodline exists.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah,
but
I think they'll save it.
So then Peter is faced with an ultimate choice. Let the universe get cracked in half or have all these different multiversal threats pour in. I don't know what.
Really no, because he's trying to. It's not even faced with the choice. He's trying to solve it. He's like, oh, okay,
right. Well, it's if you cast a spell, will that fix it? It's yeah, but
well, because originally it's can we just cast the original spell?
Right.
And it's no. And he's like, well, then you have to make everybody forget who I am. Would that fix it?
Yeah. And it does.
And it's sad because you actually see Strange tear up.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you're so much better than me.
He's like, everyone who loves you. And he's admitting he's like, I care about you.
I might love you too, little boy. Yeah. So he takes that sacrifice and then says goodbye. He says goodbye to the Spider-Man, which is a really sweet scene.
Yeah,
I like the
big
big hug.
So awkward.
He's so awkward, but I like that scene where he he has to go and then he takes one more moment and hugs them all.
Yeah.
And then he goes and says goodbye to Ned and MJ, which is really sad.
It's really sad.
Yep. Good stuff.
And then he leaves before they
leaves
forget.
them. Yeah. Yeah. And then we get the ending. Yep. And the ending is that everyone forgets he has a plan. He's going to go and tell MJ everything.
Yep.
It's Christmas time, I guess. It's winter time and the snow's falling. I'm sure it's after Christmas.
No, I think it is Christmas. Oh, it's probably around that time because at one point
they go in the mirror dimension. There's
they go through a mall and it's decked out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably somewhere in the December-ish month.
Yeah,
January, whatever.
And everyone's forgotten, and it's everyone's forgotten. People don't know that Aunt May is his aunt.
Yeah,
he didn't go to school anymore.
Yeah, because that's one time about that visual storytelling. That's we get the beats of he goes to the diner and chooses to not remind them, which
because he sees the scar or the band-aid,
and she says something's different this time, so she's a happier person.
Yeah, Yeah, and he's like, oh no.
Like, and like, he doesn't want to be hurt anymore, and so he just abandons that.
Yep,
Which
that
is
plan.
super sad.
Mm-hmm.
But he goes to the grave.
Yep.
Happy sidles up next to him. And I think for a moment, we both were like, "Oh my god!"
Dude,
Like
there's
Strange,
some nice...
backdoored something in there so that like he has somebody.
Yeah. Nope.
But there's that visual storytelling where he gets his crappy apartment, like his like Tobey Maguire, like crappy apartment, like, and he puts everything in there, and he has like a GED book.
Yep.
Because like there's no record.
There's no record of you ever going to school.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but he's going to go to school now, and
but he can pass it no problem.
Yeah, he'll pass it no problem, and then he'll go to university, Empire State University, and probably. And then and everything's gone. Like, it's all gone because they seized everything in the beginning of the movie. So like he doesn't have Edith, he doesn't have glasses, he doesn't have like spider suits, the Stark Tech suit's destroyed, everything's wrecked. So he has to make his own suit, and he does, and it's like a very classic red and blue suit.
Yeah. The
mask is very Romita-esque. It looks like maybe the eyes don't even move. Maybe they do. I feel like if you've figured that out, they like the visualization of the eyes moving. So I assume that'll be the case forever. But like, this suit is made of cloth, and they don't want to show it to you because they go out of their way to not show it to you.
Well, they want the reveal probably later.
Yeah, I mean, but it looks amazing. Set against snow in New York City at night. We get this new status quo for Spider-Man where like, oh, the whole trilogy has been setting up the like more comic accurate Spider-Man, a Spider-Man who has gone through all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
And now is like, I have the mantra,
and that's
and
it.
No one else.
For like everyone who like complained about
like Iron Man Jr.
and all this crap, and like he doesn't have this, that, and the other thing, and it's like, guys, you're literally in a situation right now where you're having your cake and you're eating it too, because if they had waited to give him this type of origin to come up like this, he wouldn't have been able to be a part of the Avengers. He wouldn't have been able to interact with Captain America and Tony Stark and Hulk and like all of these superheroes. Like, he would have just missed it.
If
they decided they needed to take their time or
do an origin.
To be like, oh, we got to do an origin.
Plus, like, it would have been so boring to see another friggin' origin.
Yeah, so it's like now you get the Spider-Man who has lost everything, and like he is a Spider-Man who, much like Peter Parker would in the comics, made an ultimate sacrifice to end up at this point. And so like you not only have established like an economic standing that fits for comic book Peter Parker, but like a moral standing point for Peter Parker.
Exactly. This is one who like takes on his poverty and like owns it and is Spider-Man in spite of it.
Yeah.
And so like that's how it ends, with Spider-Man like swinging and being hopeful and happy, or at least like finding like meaning and joy in his life being Spider-Man.
Yeah. And like maybe part of it too is like in his heart he knows that like in the grand scheme of things he's not alone.
Right.
Like there are Spider-Men out there who've
done all this,
who have done everything he like in a different way, but have suffered through what he has and keep going. And so like there's something worth it out there.
So, and then it ends, and then you get a really disappointing mid-credit scene where they, at the end of Venom 2, they establish Tom Hardy's Venom goes into the MCU, and then in this one, he was there for 2 seconds, and then he goes back.
Yeah. No, he was there for the entire time they were there.
Yeah, he was there for like a day.
Yep.
Or however long, and then he goes back.
So that's the only thing I can't quite.
It doesn't make any
wrap
sense.
My brain around.
It doesn't make any sense, and it's not supposed to. It's
and
just...
so like here's a.
Well,
here's my like just like we were sitting here talking. I was like, could it be this? Could it be saying that like the Venom symbiote is a like multi-dimensional being, and so like because one of them knew,
they all knew.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. Like the Topher Grace one knew, so he knew.
Right, like
or the Venom
I'm
symbiote
trying really hard, and like
I mean that's what it is.
But I'm also trying to not be like I'm trying to like justify it, whatever.
Yeah, no,
like,
I think that's exactly how they justify it.
It's so bizarre, and I know like it's a way to get the symbiote into the
but like you have a million spacefaring characters. You don't need Venom to drop off a piece of himself. You could have like the Guardians have it on his foot, on one of their feet, or like it happened during Infinity War, and it's been like screwing around. Like if you even want to do that, which I don't think anyone really does, because like what if you do that? What if like the first college movie is about the symbiote, and then like the second one you establish new Venom. Now you got two Venom movies. One it's too messy, it doesn't work. But you get some who cares, because he's gone. So and you've appeased Sony by being like, fine, there's a symbiote in the MCU now, moving on. And so we're all caught up. So like implications of the future. I mean, like Tom Holland is negotiating via the public opinion. He's like, I don't even know if I'm done. I feel like I am. I want to maybe I want to direct, maybe I want to start a family, blah, blah, blah. Give him whatever he wants and let him make the movie. Like, because, Amy Pascal, for her being like the movie equivalent of the drunk aunt at the wedding, has never lied.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever she says things.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about that. I don't care for her as a person, and I don't really like her decisions, but like, she is a woman in a position of executive power in a male dominated field over a character that is beloved by literally everybody. And she's not going to give that up willingly. And she's not going to do it and she's going to like Tom grab that bag. And like in her position, like, she's like, I get the language. Like when she was with Feige on that interview and she was like, Venom's in the MCU. And he was like, what? And it's like, yep, I said that. Now walk it back. Like, that's something I want. And I know that if like we negotiate behind closed doors, you could always undo it. But I said it out loud.
Yeah.
And now people have to deal with it. And she's done it a number of times where she's like said the thing that she wants out loud. And one of the things she said was like, oh, Tom Holland's in a Spider-Man trilogy that's coming out. It's the college trilogy. Yeah, no, there's no, don't worry about it. And it's like, that's one of the few times I'm like, all right, Amy, way to go.
Go get him.
But like, if that's that's what she wants, like that's what she wants, and she's gonna do what she can to get it. And it's like, whatever it is, just pay him whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Because what I want now, and what everybody wants, why everyone's happy with this movie, is because like at the end of this, you're going to get like a street level, cloth suited, war torn solo Peter Parker movie.
Yeah.
Or 3 of them.
Yeah.
And if we're going to do that, let's go there. Like, let's do that. Let's deal with Kingpin. Let's deal with Hobgoblin.
Yes.
Let's deal with Black Cat. Like, let's do some rooftop stuff. He doesn't go anywhere because he can't afford to go anywhere. He's got to go to Brooklyn. It's a pain in the ass. He's not going to DC. He's not going to Thanos' planet. He's staying here. He's doing this stuff. And that's what we want. 3 intimate college level movies. Maybe he makes friends with Harry Osborn. Maybe not. Like, who knows? But
or
like,
if there even is one.
If there is an Osborn, maybe when he finds out there is an Osborn, he's like, fuck you guys.
Yeah, I can't hang out with you.
You know what I mean? Like there's some potential there. Maybe he meets a Gwen. Maybe he meets Mary Jane. Who knows? Like there's potential for everything. And like the future has never been brighter, because now also we don't need to be like, oh God, I hope that we get this movie before Robert Downey Jr.'s contract ends, because then we'll get no. We got Spider-Man and Iron Man. We got Iron Man. We got Spider-Man fighting Captain America. We got Spider-Man punch Thanos.
Yeah.
We got him on the Avengers. We got him wearing every single version of his costume except the most comic accurate one yet.
Yeah.
Though I will say, I've seen that scene of him swinging in the city in the snow like a dozen times now, because it's leaked and I'm watching them.
Yeah. Because you're like, I saw it. I'm good.
I saw it. I'm good. The back spider is more of like a spindly spider, and like the Homecoming suit has the fat little spider, and like he needs to put that back.
No, see what I think of that is that he's paying homage to them, because he saw what
he saw there. Yeah, they have spindly guys. Yeah.
And he was like,
yeah, okay. Yeah, but no.
That's for them.
You need the fat one on the back.
I do like the fat one because it's cute.
It's cute.
But I like the storytelling of the other thing.
No, it's true. Yeah, they're all kind of he made that suit because he's like it's like their suit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the future has never been brighter. I'm thinking the next one, if they don't learn the wrong lesson and go like, it's going to be the biggest thing ever, like more, bigger. I think that like Jonah finds Mac Gargan and makes him the Scorpion. So it's a redemption arc for Jonah.
Right.
And like propels Jonah / makes Mac Gargan the Scorpion. He's an actor. I've never seen him in anything, but people keep talking about that guy. And I'm like, I mean, listen, it'll be cheap.
You know, what's exciting about this too, is like him having to come up in this way. If we get the next trilogy, right, he gets to come up in this way around the same time the Fantastic Four will be coming out.
Yeah.
So like if he goes to college at Empire State University, there's a chance he could end up like impressing a Reed Richards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like Reed would have no reason to know him.
Yeah. Reed would never know him. And well, you could get a Fantastic Four Spider-Man team up that is more comic
and
accurate.
It's all new, because like they wouldn't know they don't know who he is.
No, and he's never going to join them.
No.
Like he'll be bumping elbows with the Human Torch and or impressing Reed with his big brain.
Yeah.
But like he won't get a scholarship. He doesn't need one. He's going to school now.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah.
So like you can get all the comic accurate interactions.
Yeah, and it won't just be because like he's like, oh yeah, you knew Tony.
Nope.
Like
Though I am disappointed. I had this theory long ago where I was like, man, it'd be really fun if there was a scene like in Civil War when Tony's in the apartment. Like if there was a scene in Homecoming where Tony's like, he pops in once in a while and like looks through Peter's mail while they're talking, and Peter's getting dressed, and he sees a Freedom Foundation letter and he throws it in the garbage.
Yeah, no.
It's like, no, not that guy. But yeah, so overall, I think it was an excellent movie. Like, and I was worried that it wasn't good, that it was going to feel directionless or bloated. And instead, I feel like all the like fan servicey things, the big stuff, the tentpole stuff that made people like lose their shit, was still justifiable in a story sense.
It was earned, and it wasn't just there as window dressing, which is the number one thing that I worry about. When it comes to fan service stuff, where it's like, I don't care if I still like it, but I know it doesn't mean anything, but at least this meant something.
And
it made sense to have in there. So that was very cool, and I was really glad that we got to see it back to back in a way. I was worried on your second viewing we weren't gonna like it as much, just because I know you. And like, not that but you start to like think about.
Well,
it,
I'm thinking about
like, you're like, you had a chance to really like consider it. And then you got to see it again immediately, basically 24 hours later, and that wasn't we were trying to be jerks about it, but like Ethan couldn't go on the day that Ben could go, and Ben couldn't go on the day Ethan could go,
so we just went on the day both could.
We went both times.
So let's jump into some super chats and answer some questions. Elijah Bowers, I hope MJ and Tom will end up together in the end. That'd be sweet. I mean, like, I know that's kind of like the implication of the ending. I hope so. We'll see.
Maybe he'll just give her a chance to get through school.
Bob Gukian says, what was your most hype moment in No Way Home and the saddest? It was a really fun, like, I did not want to see multiple Spider-Man in this movie. We did, and they were great, and I loved them. Daredevil being a thing was awesome. Saddest for me, I don't know if it was sad. No, the most hype moment was the last scene, was him wearing the blue suit and in the snow. It was unbelievable. Tears down my face. I
noticed that. I did. I was like, oh.
As far as the saddest, I mean, Aunt May.
Yeah, I think it was Aunt May. It's hard to tell if it's like when he's like begging her to get up. I was like, oh my God.
Stop making it real.
Or like, again, like that hug. There's just something about that hug that
the
really,
hug
struck me. Hype moment. I think, it's like funny for me. The most hype moment was probably the Matt Murdock one, because that was the indicator that like everything we thought was going to happen. And I'm like, this is okay. Yep.
Right.
It set the tone.
Exactly.
It was a tone
really
setter.
Did.
So like that for me might have been the most hype.
Ninetail Phoenix. Hey, Silent Tiffany, I'm a recent subscriber. Finally able to watch the live stream. Love the channel and the reactions of Ben and Ethan to the comic nonsense. Well, thank you very much, man.
Yes.
And welcome to the team.
Yeah, welcome.
R. Jones. Wong being Sorcerer Supreme explains Shang-Chi post-credit scene. Strange was like, I beat Dormammu, outmaneuvered Thanos, and Wong gets to be Sorcerer Supreme. Agreed.
Yeah, that's something we talked about, because I had hypothesized that he was, but I hadn't even thought about the fact that Strange was gone for 5 years. And then hearing it, I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You can't have the Earth undefended for 5 years.
Exactly. MNM says, since you probably won't go into depth on this week's books, I have to ask Tiffany what she thought of the last issue of Excalibur.
Ask me next time we
Cash me outside.
Yeah.
The Telephonics, the Flash Thompson biography titled Flashpoint was my favorite. Really funny, really weird.
Yes. It was very funny and bizarre.
Yeah.
But I love how quickly Flash just slides into that.
Oh, yeah. No, totally justifiable. Algie Try, Comic Pop Live. Hell yeah, but I can't watch right now, for I am rushing to the theater now to see it. Keys in my pocket, flying out the door. Well, hopefully enjoyed it.
Yeah, hopefully when you're coming back through, you had a great time. And hopefully you had a good theater experience.
Yeah.
A safe one, too.
Estetivia... I'm sorry, says, at 6, Spider-Man 2 was my first movie in theaters. Now, as I complete college in 4 months, I get the perfect conclusion to the Otto and Toby story.
Srivastava?
Yeah, there you go.
I tried.
Their conversation at the Statue of Liberty. I know. It's great.
Yeah.
How are you, my boy? That's so sweet.
Yes,
I really like that.
That was so sweet, because
he's waking up for the first. I haven't seen you
Toby
in years.
Hasn't seen him.
Yeah, since he died.
And even before, like, he kind of came out of it there.
Yeah,
but not.
Right.
No.
Yeah. Because he hasn't come out of it yet. He's still attacking him. Like, he hasn't convinced the arms to let him go yet. So Otto hasn't seen him since like the conversation at like the at, like dinner.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that they both have, Andrew and Toby have conversations with the two who can be like redeemed and who have meaning for them, because it's like, I think now they're realizing that Electro, even if like nobody really preferred his portrayal in the movie, though, like where they took that Spider-Man, like they both like, they need like someone to tell them like, hey, you're good,
you're gonna be okay, man,
you're okay,
yeah,
you're good. So like I appreciate that.
Yeah. Andres Toro says, hey, Sal and Tiffany, first time sending a super chat. Thanks for all the content.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. How long do you think they'll keep this new suit until they need to sell more toys? I don't know. I hope they keep it forever. I think the next suit that Tom Holland wears outside of this red and blue one will be the black costume.
Yeah, because I'm thinking it's going to be harder for him to get the materials to make them.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I don't think we're going
to. Hopefully we get a movie with this one.
Yeah, I think next two suits, I'm calling it now, black costume and a Future Foundation suit.
I was going to say Future Foundation.
Yay. Bubba 7012, this movie was a mind-bending experience. Of course, the Community guys would write it so meta. From the beginning, there was the corny extras, and the villains were changed in demeanor by the MCU. Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I love it. Silas Koenig says, do you guys think we would see Peter meeting a redhead in college who introduces herself as Mary Jane, and he stops himself and says, oh, MJ? Maybe.
He might have we might meet a Gwen.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna
get. I think it's gonna be a Felicia.
I think we're gonna get Felicia, and I think we might get like maybe Deb Whitman or Sissy Ironwood or something like weird. Derail Seth, about to see it with my girlfriend. Don't tell her it's my second time. Merry Christmas. Well, your secret's safe with us, man. Thank you. Troy Harness, I thought we were going to see Norman appreciate how a Harry followed in his true footsteps and became a goblin. Two goblins working together. Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm glad we didn't. Although this is like, so has anyone started thinking about how this like fractures the timeline and how like,
yeah, we haven't talked about that. How like,
because,
does this mean that those movies don't end the same way?
Right. Or that like, does that put the Spider-Man themselves in a different position?
Right.
Like, does Spider-Man 3 happen the way it does now?
Yeah, I don't think so. Hell, I don't think that, like, now Andrew Garfield can go back to a world where Electro didn't break the grid and stuff. Like, he knows to stop Gwen because he's been there. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, because Andrew came from a different place than the villain did, but so the villain's going to go back to where they came from in theory, which will potentially change the timeline. So the Andrew who came will be the Andrew who is in that timeline.
No, that's true. Yeah. They're not going to do that.
Think about that one for a second.
Dan V900, to clarify an earlier point, since the spoilers, I meant that instead of Spider-Man 4, we get Mayday Parker done to be the mom, not the main character. Then you get Toby briefly. We all want Amazing Spider-Man 3 now. Yeah, I agree. I think we do. I do now. Goldman Vision says, can we please talk about how many plot holes are in No Way Home? We counted at least 6. We read it. Can't figure it out. Nah.
I mean, if you're looking for like
things, if you're looking for things to bitch about, knock yourself out.
You can look for things to poke holes in every movie.
Yeah. Leon Santiago, can't catch live, but wanted to support the channel and say that my favorite thing was how much Goblin pushed Holland's Peter. Agreed.
Yeah. Like from behind the guys of Norman. Yeah.
Great stuff. By the way, if you do want to like point out plot holes, like I'm sure the video would do great. So make a video about how there were so many plot holes you couldn't enjoy the movie. Dan V900, Doc Ock will still die compared to the others. Sucks for him, but someone needs to make the sacrifice to take out the reactor where he was grabbed right before. I mean, the two of them could work together now. He's like, we need to drown it. You web that end, and I'll use my arms to pull this. They just need to put it in the river.
Yeah.
King Sport Cal says, right?
Kingsport
Cal says, Tiff, how do you feel about the way the Doctor Strange was portrayed in this film? Do you approve? Also, nice hat, Django. Give the cats extra treats. Will do. Thank you, man.
We'll absolutely will, because that's actually part of their Christmas present.
Yeah.
I get them holiday presents. I'm that cat mom. So like I like his characterization in this quite a bit. And like I said, like I'm just along for the ride in terms of like where they're going to have Strange land, because like this is uncharted waters, and I'm really trying to separate myself from what my expectations are based on what the comic book has portrayed Strange to be, because they kind of have strayed from that.
Yeah.
But each of the movies that aren't necessarily his own, but we'll see with this new one coming out, have done a pretty good job, in my opinion, of really capturing like the personality of Strange that I really like. So I think it's a step in the right direction, even if it's a step back from him being Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, took a lot of work to get him here finally.
Yeah,
it's funny.
We're getting there.
Eminem says, this is the first time Holland's Peter actually felt like Peter Parker to me. This Peter never really had the regret, pain, and responsibility that defines his character until this movie.
Which we super chatted this before, so
exactly.
Like,
but
I'm glad that we did get a chance to talk about that. But like how it very much is getting your cake and eating it too.
Exactly.
Which I listen. Who doesn't want to eat their cake?
No. Dex Baker, helping us out with a super sticker. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
I just want to make sure I didn't skip over somebody by like repopulating. But we get to Dex. And the Milkman. Lizard mentions the buck teeth and comb over. He does. and they just say like, yeah, I don't have that anymore.
Yeah, I think that you might have missed some. I'm gonna try to hang on. I'm scrolling back. Scrolling back, folks.
Well, while that's happening, Girk Pectus says, do you recommend any steampunk comics or any medium? I need my fix after Arcane. I hated Toby's version, but he was great in this. Happy holidays. I mean, I'm not going to weigh in on which one's my favorite Spider-Man, but I will say I liked everybody in this. I thought they all did a great job, and it was nice to see them. I don't have any steampunk recommendations for you. I'm sorry. Blade Runner 2029 or whatever.
I think you might have to go into the other thing. I got Rescue 911. A Zero saying, do you think the post credit is setting up Black Suit, Agent Venom, or Gwenom?
No.
Adam Thenhouse says, absolutely loved the thank you from Tom to Andrew and Toby, like a message from the fans for being the stewards of this iconic character.
Yeah,
that's exactly the way I thought that was.
Agreed. Yeah,
I right there with you, Adam.
Right.
Tengu Ray saying, as a huge Iron Family fan, I think they low-key help set up Armor Warriors in the beginning with the investigation of Stark Industries.
Yeah.
Chase Eichler saying, boy, Ned picked up a lot of hobgoblin-y weapons in this movie. Lol, you think they'll ever do anything with him? No. I love that moment where Toby like tells about the best friend thing.
Yeah, he tied my arms after he tried to kill me.
I love Andrew quietly in the background.
Dude, what?
Like, why would you
Don't tell him that?
And then, like, later on, that,
I promise I will never become a superhero or supervillain try to kill you. Good call. Ned isn't Hobgoblin. It's Roderick Kingsley.
Decon690 saying, hey, great discussion about Spider-Man No Way Home. But by the way, are you talking about the post credits about Doctor Strange?
We did.
Multiverse of Madness teaser. Yeah, listen, there's a lot to get into about that from... We didn't because
we didn't go scene by scene. Listen, when they drop that trailer again, we'll do it.
But like, listen, number one thing that like literally, I think I actually said something aloud about Shuma-Gorath. Like I was like, oh my god,
yeah, you did.
Shuma-Gorath is there, and then clearly they're setting up either a multiversal version of Doctor Strange, which could be very much from just the what if, because it seems to be a darker version of him.
Yep.
But it could also be anything because it's magic. Or it could be a lot of, like, I heard someone literally in the theater go, it's Mephisto.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, I guess if any movie was going to do it would be him. I like to think it's the what if one.
Yeah.
Because that would literally,
most folk want that.
That would usher the watcher right on into the MCU, which I kind of dig.
He's got to come. Yeah.
And then you have some more after that, but like, I'm telling you, I think we missed a few.
Okay.
But go ahead. You go from there.
Oh, young Goku over 9,000. Willem Dafoe, such a bizarre looking human and so fantastic. Dude just acts so hard. Watch The Lighthouse. We did. Also, I need Kingpin versus Spider-Man, but don't worry. But I worry he's not comically giant enough for it to feel like it needs to. It will. They'll be fine. He's not. They didn't CG him and they didn't give him a fat suit. He looks great. And I'll be fine with it. The thing is, like Kingpin and Spider-Man, like when they throw fists, it's not really that exciting. Like it's about them. It's about him like exerting his power over Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I want that next.
Yeah.
Dan V is back to say Peter's spider sense in the astral form are zigzag lines above his head like in the comic. I saw it in the rewatch after being told about it. There you go. I have to look for
we'll look for it next time as well.
Fake Grant Morrison. I really love the Ned MJ Peter friendship throughout this trilogy. Sad to see it go, but glad that it felt narratively justified. Their hug at the rooftop was just agreed.
Yes,
I agree.
That hug is like such a real like hug, but between like people who really like one another and like care about them.
Right. Yeah. Girk Pectus, topic for Elseworlds Exchange. Best villain versus villain fight. Loki versus Apocalypse is a good. Red Skull versus Magneto. I hope Jameson is in every movie they need news. They need for a news person. Yeah, man. I was saying that to Tiffany. I'm like, now that we've got like J. Jonah Jameson in like a position where he like has a studio and like clout, I hope we see him in like everything.
Yeah.
Where he's like, oh, Hawkeye's a menace too.
Yeah.
Girk Pectus also says, I was so happy when Venom left. Good friggin' riddance. Yeah, a lot. What did you hear in the theater when he disappeared?
Oh, I think I heard good.
You did. First watching. He disappears, and someone just literally over her shoulder went, good.
I was like, whoa, okay.
Sean Conwell, the interactions between all three were great. Any villains you hope to see in live action? I hope Scorpion finally gets something obscure like the Spot. I want Hobgoblin. I want Black Cat. I don't really care about Scorpion, but like I'll take it. I'll take them all, man. I'd like to see a real Sinister Six come back at some point in the future, but like as it stands, I'm happy with Hobby, Black Cat as like a kind of anti-villain. Those are my picks right now.
Okay.
Pineapple Pizza Fan. Defoe in his 60s now only said that he's returning as the Goblin if he did his own fight choreography and his own stunts. That's why I love him. Yeah, man. I remember him telling a story about how when he was sparring with Tobey Maguire, like when they were like learning fight moves and they were like they'd gone over these different like styles of fighting and they realized that like neither of them would ever have learned how to fight, so it had to be street brawling like bruiser shit. And I remember Defoe saying to Tobey when they were like gonna spar, he said like, by the way, I'm doing this in character, and just beat the daylights out of him. That's an old story. I don't know if that's true anymore.
I love that, the idea of like Tobey being like, Sam.
You gotta call off Defoe. This dude is
very
committed.
Princess Bride.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah,
it's very
you
that
killed
moment.
my father. Prepare to die.
I think he's gonna actually kill me.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, then we better roll.
Just for commensable happy holidays. You too. Thank you very much. Pectus is back. This is how you do fan service. Unlike that dumb POS movie Ghostbusters Afterlife that stops the story to show a Twinkie or read lines in Ghostbusters 1 on the sign. Oh. Yeah, well, you know.
Thanks for your hot take there.
Yeah, there you have it.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it as well. Justin got the mustache. Say, I'm a little worried. I love the film, but after this, the PS4 Spider-Man, I think Aunt May's days are numbered. Listen, man. Yeah, big time. Although, you listen, she had cancer. And they tried to undo One More Day, all in the same like Nick Spencer run, and they still didn't take her out.
Yeah, she's an unsinkable ship.
They might be more inclined to do it now that they're like they've accepted her in two outselling comic books medias. You know, like the movies and the video games killed her off, and they had no problem doing it. Pectus is back. Do you think post Devil's Reign, Typhoid Mary joins the X-Men? No, I do not. Cosmic Reader. So I'm confused with the ending in Spidey MCU adjacent, like how the Netflix characters used to be, or will you have a chance to meet after the MCU heroes? I think that like the Netflix stuff doesn't count. I think it's more like they're going to pick and choose. It's not going to be like that. It's all in canon.
I think right now what they're saying is Daredevil and Kingpin.
That's it. Yeah. We're going to see Spider-Man maybe interact with Daredevil, Kingpin, and possibly the Fantastic Four. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's it.
But like for like ones outside, like for Netflix ones, I think that's where they're getting their feet wet.
Exactly.
They're going to see where this goes.
Exactly.
I have a couple of others, I think, from earlier.
Great.
The Milkman saying, I think everyone from different dimensions that had similar events, Doc Ock doesn't look like how he does in Spider-Man 2.
He does not. They just don't want to do that.
Well, they could just love you saying it's like, multiversal.
Yeah, they don't want to do it.
The Mohef Social Club saying, I wonder how they'll explain Vulture in the Morbius Venomverse. P.S. Andrew further proved why he's my favorite.
He's wonderful. They will not explain it. I'm calling it now. They just won't.
They could just not do it. They could change it.
I could see Marvel being like, cut it. Yeah. I don't think that. I think it's all going to be exactly as it was. I think it's just they will not explain it.
Yeah, or he'll be a different character.
Yep. That'd be really stupid.
Well, I mean, or they could probably be like, yeah, but like Jonah looks the same.
Yeah, this is Venom's Vulture.
Your boy Chips Ahoy saying, I can't believe Spider-Man used Emperor Palpatine in a more resonant way than Star Wars did in ROS.
Agreed. Agreed.
BB Metalhead 04 saying, how do you think Marvel will handle the Netflix TV stuff moving forward? Pick and choose what makes it through, or include everything and try to fix the lesser series, Iron Fist, Inhumans, etc.
The former. I think it's just picking and choosing.
Ruben Castaneda Sosa, I'm sure I probably butchered that. In Civil War, Peter told Tony about something bad that happened, implying an Uncle Ben. But this movie seems to imply that didn't happen to Holland. He says
when the bad things happen. He doesn't say anything specific. So my guess is just
it
like
could be his parents' death.
His parents died. It could be Uncle Ben did die. It wasn't. He didn't say anything inspiring. It could be any number of things. But he says the line is specifically, he says, when you can do the things that I can do, and then the bad things happen, they happen because of you. And I think it's just like he sees bad things happening. He knows he has to. Like I think he felt compelled to be a hero in this version.
Right. Pineapple Pizza Fan, pour a drink out to all the people that thought Doctor Strange wasn't in the movie, but it was Mephisto.
Yep.
Yep. There are definitely folk out there who are saying that one. Goku, which I kind of struggle with because
no. Why would Mephisto care?
Goku saying, loved the movie. Happy to hear your thoughts on it. Is Strange Adventures behind you?
Yes, it is. It's a beautiful hardcover, by the way. Pick up Strange Adventures from Tom King, Mitch Durids, and Evan Shaner. It's a gorgeous book. And in this particular volume, it is made to look like it is the book that Adam Strange is peddling, along with an inscription from Adam Strange himself. It's a gorgeous book and a great story as well. Pick it up.
And I might be catching up to you now. I don't know. Dylan Gupta Cassidy saying, I was thinking of Peter getting a job at the Daily Bugle so he can pay for his rent.
I would love to see that. Come on, let's do it.
Bri Lewis 97 saying big Comic Pop fan. Hey,
Thank
Bri,
you.
I think you were on Twitch channel last week.
There you have it.
Hi. Much love and happy holidays.
You too,
as
man.
well.
Thank you.
Leroy saying, could Pete meet Kitty Pryde in college like the Ultimate Universe?
I don't think they're going to do that.
But technically, they could.
They could easily, yeah.
Gotham City critics kind of bummed out no Fantastic Four references in this movie.
Me too.
I'm not, because I think there was a lot of things going on that would have made it, I think, feel too fan service.
Listen, you got your Fantastic Four reference in Far From Home.
Yeah, that's true.
They bought the Avengers Tower. There's a sign in the believe it that says, we can't wait to show you what's next. 1, 2, 3, and then a question mark. Come on. And he's making Fantastic Four.
Cosmic Reader saying, I'm great. We got the news of a second MCU trilogy, but I'm worried about Sony taking that away like they usually do.
I am too, but I think there's too much money on the table. I think they're making their deals. I think they've learned their lesson.
think there's too much money all around for everybody.
Exactly.
Like they're like, if Marvel Disney's doing well, then like Sony's doing well. Like, you know what I mean?
Plus,
like,
Sony has their own stuff. Like
but
Sony
yeah, but
knows.
I like to think that the hype between the two franchises, like between like what Sony's doing and what like Disney's doing, like they're just like, this is fine.
This is fine.
They're in a symbiotic relationship.
Exactly.
New type JB Lee saying, question, I wonder why No Way Home essentially did a soft reboot of MCU Spider-Man with Doctor Strange's spell, because was it because of the dispute with Sony a year back?
Probably,
but I think it's also they knew that they could do it because they have a universe in which there is a literal sorcerer who can cast spells like this, so they knew that they could put Spider-Man to the place where a lot of people are looking to see him, but also have used him in another way beforehand and not have to make it seem so weird.
Yeah.
I'm talking about magic, and I'm saying it's not weird.
It's true.
It's good.
Sean Conwell, after MJ twice, Gwen Stacy and Liz Allen, I wonder if they'll do other romances for Peter like Felicia Hardy or Carly Cooper. I definitely expect Felicia, probably not Carly, but we'll see. Grayson Red, I love this movie, but the overly cheering crowds and unnecessary chatter were super annoying and made me miss some lines. This really solidified that I hate the traditional movie experience. There's a reason why home theaters are getting less expensive and more,
Right. I like this was particularly different. I think it was just like it's people being cooped up, being at maybe haven't been in a theater in a while. There's a lot.
Yeah, no, it's true.
What was that?
Oh, that was
is it on the back of the box?
That was Justice. No. It was those cowards did not give us the fat back spider. Boo.
Oh, yes.
Landon Clark, the ending perfectly set up the next trilogy. I would like to see Kraven, Black Cat, Hobgoblin in the next set of movies. I would too. I don't think you're going to see Kraven because I think he's getting his own movie starring the guy who played freaking Quicksilver. So, good luck with that.
I had something else I was going to bring up, and now I've completely forgotten.
I keep thinking about it.
It's gone. It's just not there anymore.
Well, Rusky number 10 says rumor was part of the contract for No Way Home was Arad was out. Do you think the ending was Feige fixing all of Arad's decisions? Could be. Though at the end of the movie, there was a big fat shout out to Avi Arad. So maybe that was like his swan song. Maybe it was
his goodbye.
His goodbye. It'd be wonderful if it was, because Avi Arad does not make things better. Rusky also said, do you think the post credits setting up the black suit?
We did that already. So
now I'm caught up.
Yeah, you're catching up to me.
Well, let me go down to
we did that one.
Okay, then we are
Landon
up to
Clark.
Landon Clark, who says soft reboot for new director. Yeah, man. I don't think it's gonna be like. I think a soft reboot in terms of like, he's gonna be a loner. He's gonna have no supporting cast, or they're gonna do a new supporting cast. The college supporting cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know who the director should be, but we'll get there. And some guy with a mustache, Noops, asks, I don't really understand how his supporting cast will work since Peter is now aware of the fate of the Osborns and Gwen. What do you think? I don't think he was like paying attention, honestly, to like the Gwen stuff, and I think he does. I think he's like, screw the Osborns. I think he will have a problem with the Osborns.
Yeah, if they show up, I think he will. But like also in that universe, the Spider-Man of that universe has organic web shooters. So he's like, it doesn't always go the same.
It doesn't always go the same. The fake Grant Morrison. Also, when May says the line, Peter replied with, yeah, I know. Really touching moment. Yeah. Happy now. Hey guys, thanks for all the content. I left the film feeling meh about Aunt May's death, but you turned me around on it. The new suit was my highlight. Agreed, man. Thank you. And Silas Koenig says, what universe do you think Morbius is going to be in? I think it's the Venomverse.
His own thing.
No, he's the Venomverse. He's in the Venom universe. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your support, for your super chats, for your questions and comments, and for watching today's episode where we just talked all about No Way Home. I think we beat it to death, but if there's anything else, we will bring it up in another show.
One thing I was going to say, and I can't remember what it was, and if I remember, I'll write it down.
Is it about Doctor Strange? Is it about Venom? Is it about Spider-Man? Is it about
It's literally about something in the movies keep going. You just do your thing.
Matthew Terlaga says, what do you guys think of the rumor that the impetus for Multiverse of Madness isn't that Peter botched the first spell, it's that Strange altered the second spell and is now the only one who remembers Peter? I'd be okay with Doctor Strange remembering him. I don't think he will, but it could be. I would be not surprised.
I think the Doctor Strange movie will give us a little more clarification, because it seems like all of this multiversal magic might have messed him up a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's gonna have like a bunch of stuff to deal with.
I wouldn't expect a lot of Spider-Man references in Doctor Strange 2. I think I'd be very disappointed if I went into that movie expecting more Spider-Man.
That's why I was saying I thought it was weird that it was at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
I feel like that I wanted him to do that because I want Peter to have someone, but that's only because I feel badly for that character.
Yeah.
But like, for it to truly be what it needs to be,
For it to be the sacrifice no one can remember.
For Steve should not remember.
Yeah. And I'd like that. I'd like to see it because it's a fresh start. You get to see a new interaction with Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And more.
It'll be even more awkward for Peter.
Yeah. Rusky, I want to know, my fan cast for Spider-Man 4 would be Daredevil, Black Cat, and Spider versus Kingpin, and his enforcers turn into Spidey villains. That'd be great. I'd be okay with that. That's Spectacular Spider-Man, but yeah, I'd watch that anyway. And Harry Aldrich Jr., thank you very much. Harry Aldrich Jr., thank you very much.
Thank you for the super chat.
And New Type JB Lee, is it just me? But it is just me, but the magic of Wanda and Strange, it feels like they're doing a soft reboot of MCU to allow X-Men, Fantastic Four, and more comic-accurate Spider-Man. I don't think so. I don't think they need to use magic to do any of those things, but we'll see what happens.
Magic might be the only, like, in X-Men is going to be a weird one.
It'll be weird.
I'm looking forward to seeing, I'm looking forward for someone else to make that decision.
Yeah. Yeah, and for it not to be continued.
Fantastic Four is a lot easier.
Yeah.
They could have been there and then they were somewhere else.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I feel like the magic of Wanda and Strange is they recognize that there's something to be said for multiverses. It's already been proven that it can work.
Yeah.
And so they're just trying to delve into that. They've opened the door.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I just want more actual magic.
Totally. I think you're going to get it. I think we're getting more of it.
Vishanti.
Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Please go over to youtube.com/ComicPop and get us to 100,000 subscribers, and go to twitch.tv/ComicPop to watch Tiffany play video games on the regular. And we'll see you guys next time with an all-new episode of Off the Rack on Mondays at night. Usually it's a couple hours from now. We started early just to catch everybody and to get it out of the way for the holidays.
Exactly.
So catch us on the weekly to talk about the latest comic books and comic movies that are coming out that we think that you should pick up. Harry Aldrich Jr., J. Jonah Jameson for the new MCU Stan Lee. That'd be fine with me.
Again, right? Just shows up. That's what it was. I want a deleted scene. I want to see a deleted scene from No Way Home between the 3 Spider-Men and like Toby seeing Jonah being like, wait, your Jonah looks like that too?
Yeah, what the hell? Yeah, exactly.
Like Jonah's just a constant.
Well, you know, you get Toby looking at it and he goes, oh, Jonah. Yeah, I think
no hair. Huh?
I think there's a lot of deleted scenes in this movie, and I think we're gonna get a bunch of stuff for the Blu-ray. Let's hope.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, gang. So long, and thanks a lot for hanging out.
Stay safe out there.
Yeah,
everybody.
be safe and happy holidays to all of you.
Happy holidays and a happy New Year. If we don't see you before then, I hope you finish this year out like thoughtfully and go into the next one with positivity and like hope.
Yes, that'd be nice. So long, everybody.
Bye.